Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. Fantasy. Start with Supreme Bone, sign in with ancient Duel Pupils. Chapter 61. Slurp. Golden Crow. I haven't eaten it before, now I can try it. Wong Tang looked at the Golden Crow Emperor, drooling. The cynical look made the Golden Crow Emperor very angry. The Barbarian Tiger Emperor was upset after being defeated. Seeing Wong Tang like this, he couldn't help it. The key is that Wong Tang kept saying that he wanted to kill him and eat him. You are looking for death. The Golden Crow Emperor didn't think twice, and a golden wheel weapon suddenly appeared in his hand. With a whoosh, it split from 1 to 10. Attacked the drooling Wong Tang. At the same time, human race, which prince or princess invited this? There was a commotion in the crowd, and many people looked at Wong Tang's back and muttered to themselves. A human race who can participate in the monster race event. The strength must be good. It seems that the southern monster invited him here. I just don't know how strong this guy is. He dares to let the fighting saint ape go down so arrogantly. A monster race prodigy said with his hands in his pockets. And he didn't recognize Wong Tang. That's normal. Without saying his name, Wong Tang's face has not spread throughout the myriad worlds. But Li Feiyu can recognize him. He will never forget Wong Tang's harmless face. Brother Jinwu, don't fight him. Give up quickly. Li Feiyu took off his black robe and shouted. Although he had never fought with Wong Tang in the Supreme Secret Realm. But he knew his hunting character. Plus what Wong Tang said just now, there is no doubt that he wants to kill the Golden Crow Emperor on the ring. Brother Li, it's not that I look down on you human race, this guy is outspoken, and this emperor will kill him. The Golden Crow Emperor spoke nonsense, not realizing the danger at all. Buzz. The treasure bone on Wong Tang's chest flickered. The reincarnation treasure technique was activated. In just one encounter, the 10 rotating golden wheels seemed to have been eroded by billions of years. Mottled rust appeared instantly, then gradually decayed. Turned into tiny dust particles. The wind blew, disappeared in the air. What is this divine ability? My golden wheel is forged with solar iron, how could it turn into ash in an instant? The Golden Crow Emperor opened his eyes wide, unable to believe the scene in front of him. They are the Golden Crow clan. They have the Samadhi true fire, which is known as burning everything. Even this fire cannot burn the solar iron. But it was annihilated by Wong Tang's divine ability, how could he not be shocked? Not bad, the effect is good. Wong Tang nodded, satisfied. All things in the world can't stop the passage of time. The second layer divine ability of his supreme bone, the samsara treasure technique, does have a heaven-defying method. The next moment, Wong Tang put away the supreme bone. He didn't want to use the samsara treasure technique on the Golden Crow Emperor. In this way, the food turned into ash and it was a waste of effort. Boom. The next moment, Wong Tang directly opened the desolate ancient saint body. The huge blood and energy force blew up a huge wave of air, making many people unable to stand. Desolate ancient saint body. He is the Eastern god. Someone opened his mouth wide and said in shock. He couldn't recognize the face. But he recognized the desolate ancient saint body. Except Wong Tang, there is no other desolate ancient saint body in the world. He is the emperor of the Eastern Wilderness Wong family, Wong Tang. Oh my goodness, we should have thought of it earlier, the human race invited by the southern demon. How could he be just an ordinary person? A prodigy took a breath and suddenly realized. Now, his identity has been exposed. Which monster race prodigy is willing to fight him? Isn't that just courting death? And the monster race prodigy under the ring immediately mourned for the Golden Crow Emperor in their hearts. On the ring, the Golden Crow Emperor took a step back, his eyes full of fear. If he could do it again, he would rather choose Saint Emperor. He is unwilling to fight against this Eastern god Wong Tang. Because he really can't survive. Wong Tang. Are you really that Wong Tang? The Golden Crow Emperor hesitated and his words fell into confusion. Correct. Reward you with a whole body. Don't worry, I will make you into a delicious dish and then taste it carefully. Wong Tang licked his lips and smiled. This licking. The Golden Crow Emperor was frightened and panicked. He even imagined himself becoming a dish. He immediately opened his mouth to admit defeat. But it was too late. How could Wong Tang let him leave alive? The next moment, His slightly narrowed eyes suddenly opened, and a ray of invisible light burst out. The Golden Crow Emperor spoke. As soon as he said a word, the infinite dullness of the chaotic world immediately took effect on him. Then, buzz, a golden sword shot out from Wong Tang's dual pupils, blending the yin and yang energies. It pierced the mouth of the Golden Crow Emperor. Now, it became difficult to open his mouth, let alone admit defeat. Boom! Suddenly, the dull Golden Crow Emperor burned his own blood without hesitation. He was forced to transform into his original body, the three-legged Golden Crow. Then, he frantically shook the wings of the fiery entanglement. Every flap, Samadhi true fire burned the surrounding void, forming a flame barrier. It temporarily blocked Wong Tang's chaotic world. Then, the Golden Crow Emperor, who could not speak, did not linger in the fight. Instead, he looked for the right moment and turned to fly under the ring. As long as he escaped to the ground, he would be judged as a loser even if he could not speak. At that time, the 10 Monster Alliance elders could stop him. Want to run away? I came to the stage in person just for you, how could I let you run away? Seeing this, Wong Tang could not help but snorted coldly. How could he let the duck in his mouth run away? Swish! An ordinary little grass appeared in Wong Tang's hand, green and crystal. Go to hell! Wong Tang did not hesitate, and performed the grass sword technique. The terrifying sword intent. Like a sword blade of opening heaven, it swept towards the Golden Crow Emperor who had transformed into his original body. Hachi! The Golden Crow Emperor hurriedly fluttered his wings, trying to use Samadhi True Fire to resist again. But this invincible sword intent. In the next second, it directly broke through the flame shield. It even isolated a piece of void and cut his Samadhi True Fire into 2 layers. Woo! The Golden Crow Emperor's pupils shrank and he let out a cry. Swish! There was only a crisp sound. The entire body of the Golden Crow Emperor, from the broken beak to the 3rd golden foot, it was directly cut in half by the grass sword technique. Killed in one blow, no intact body will be left. In an instant, many monster race prodigy under the ring were speechless by Wong Tang's thundering means. Hiss! Golden Crow Emperor, just died like this. He didn't even have the chance to admit defeat and beg for mercy, and was directly cut in half. Some monster race prodigy were shocked. With the strength of the Golden Crow Emperor, he is the top strength among all the young generations of monster race. He was killed instantly by Wong Tang. How can it not be surprising? The key is, the Golden Crow Emperor is the hope of the Golden Crow clan and the treasure of the old Golden Crow. Now that he died at the event, he will definitely not let it go. Someone seemed to have thought of something and reminded. Although there are currently rules for the event, all the strong people of Nanling Monster Race stay in Monster Alliance. But once they know the news, in a rage, they may rush to kill Wong Tang, leading to a bigger fight. After all, this is a monster race event that starts every 100 years. No one had ever died on the ring, but this time an accident happened. This time, even the 10 great ancestors of Monster Alliance who maintained order, they couldn't help but frown. According to the rules, the Golden Crow Emperor did not admit defeat, let alone leave the fighting ring. So they couldn't stop him. But after all, if the Golden Crow Emperor died here, the mess behind would be difficult to clean up. At this moment, Wong Tang sucked the body of the Golden Crow disciple that fell on the ground with his palm, picked it up and put it into the storage bag prepared in advance. Ingredients, got it. Wong Tang patted the bag and laughed to himself. When the seriously injured Manhu Emperor saw this scene, he couldn't help but yelled. Wong Tang, you killed Brother Jinwu, forget it. You also took his body away. Do you really want to do this thing that is infuriating to both humans and gods? Infuriating to both humans and gods. Wow, why didn't you say that when your monster race ate the human race? Besides, what I killed is naturally my trophy, so why not take it away? Are you not convinced? We can practice alone. Wong Tang waved his sleeves and said domineeringly. As soon as this was said, the barbarian Tiger Emperor shut his mouth instantly. He couldn't even beat the Saint Emperor, let alone Wong Tang, isn't that courting death? The next moment, Wong Tang's eyes condensed, looking down at Li Feiyu, waving his hand and saying, they both lost, isn't it your turn? He just wanted to fight with Chaos Body. To see how much strength this physique that fits all methods can let him use. As you wish, Li Feiyu blurted out, seeing that he couldn't escape. Li Feiyu also wanted to fight with Wong Tang to see how powerful this desolate ancient saint body was. Whether it was as invincible as the rumors said. Shua. With a sound of breaking through the air, Li Feiyu stepped onto the battle stage, and endless chaotic energy spread out. 5 colored rays of light illuminated the heavens. Ha 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 ha, let me see what's so special about your chaos body. Wong Tang's holy blood was boiling, and the moment his combat power increased, he clenched his fists and rushed forward. Bang! A simple punch was thrown. Containing the blood and energy like a volcano, it hit Li Feiyu's face head-on. The next moment, Li Feiyu opened his big hand and spun. The law in his palm was rampant, like a universe floating up and down. Bang! Rapped Wong Tang's fist. Confronted with this extreme physical strength, it didn't move even a little distance. What? How can the power of this chaos body fight against the desolate ancient saint body? Did I see it wrong? Under the ring, Saint Emperor rubbed his eyes and said in horror. As a fighting lineage, he knew very well the power of Wong Tang's punch. Even if he took it hard, he would be at a disadvantage. But Li Feiyu not only took it, he also formed a confrontation with Wong Tang, which was beyond his expectation. It seems that you still don't understand chaos body. This physique fits the 10,000 Daos. The powerful combat power of the desolate ancient saint body belongs to the path of force, and it will also be restrained. You know, this chaos body was ranked first in the ancient times, 1 in 10,000. Su Ruyu next to him shook her head and explained. The rarity of chaos body. It is 100 times more difficult than desolate ancient saint body. It is basically difficult to have such a physique in an era. On the ring. Interesting. Chaos body, everything returns to chaos. It is really not simple. Wong Tang grinned, retracted his fist and retreated to his original position. In an instant, the treasure bone on his chest flashed, and he used the second divine treasure of supreme bone again. Samsara treasure technique. The beam of light was like lightning, full of the breath of time. That kind of soul-frightening feeling made Li Feiyu alert without exception. Divine ability that affects time. No wonder Brother Jinwu's golden wheel turned into ashes before, it turned out to be corroded by time. Li Feiyu frowned and said. With such a close feeling, he discovered the mystery of the Samsara treasure technique. Immediately, his own breath burst out, and in the void behind him, the chaos body vision unfolded. It is said to be a vision. In fact, it is a fog wrapped in chaos. All things in the world begin with chaos. In the fog, sometimes azure lotus grows, sometimes dragons roar, sometimes thunder rages, sometimes wind and snow rage. As Wong Tang's reincarnation magic bursts out, the chaos behind Li Feiyu becomes more blurred. Wisps of great Daos are stimulated. Countless chains are formed, which imprison the reincarnation magic and slowly drag it into the fog. Like a captured prey, the reincarnation magic gradually disappears under the assimilation of chaos. Good trick. This chaos body is really worthy of being the body of all laws. The time and space power of the reincarnation magic is of no use to him. Wong Tang spoke slowly, feeling a little tricky. Since he was born, Li Feiyu is the first person who really makes him want to fight. Those opponents in the past. It's not worth mentioning at all. Emperor Wong Tang, what other tricks do you have? Show them, or you won't have a chance in a while. Li Feiyu smiled confidently. After breaking Wong Tang's reincarnation magic, he became more confident in his chaos body. It feels that Wong Tang is not as scary as the rumors say. This method of keeping the same in the face of all changes is indeed somewhat practical. You underestimated me. HMPH, the grass sword technique, cut it for me. Wong Tang snorted coldly. The palm of his hand turned into a small grass, and he used the grass sword technique and swung out a sword that cut through the sky. This blow, it was several times more powerful than the sword that killed the Golden Crow Emperor just now. The attack power is good, but it's still not good enough in front of my chaos body that is invulnerable to all kinds of attacks. Li Feiyu shook his head and said sarcastically. As expected, the infinite sword intent, after touching the chaos body's vision, was assimilated into nothingness again. It was even faster than the dissipation of the Samsara treasure technique. This Wong Tang has met his match. The Chaos Body's attack methods are not as good as his, but he has the Chaos Body by his side. Any attack has no effect on him. It seems that neither of them can do anything to the other for the time being. The second elder of the Monster Alliance stood in the void and talked. This Chaos Body is equivalent to the Golden Bell cover. But it is much more powerful than the Golden Bell cover. Any attack, as long as it involves the 10,000 Dao laws, is ineffective against the Chaos Body. Second elder, I don't think so. Although Chaos Body is powerful, Wong Tang has 3 major physiques. The divine treasure of the last physique has not been used yet. The Demon Blood Elder stroked his long beard and reminded. After hearing this, everyone was stunned for a moment, as if they had found some incredible moment from their broken memories. Although Chaos Body restrains one Dao, it also has a nemesis. That is Ancient Duel Pupils. Ancient Duel Pupils has 2 universes, containing the yin and yang qi of the beginning of chaos. That is something Chaos Body cannot assimilate. The scene changed. On the ring, reincarnation treasure technique and grass sword art have no effect on him. Since he can assimilate Wan Dao, then, we can only try Ancient Duel Pupils. Wong Tang calmed down and thought carefully. He also thought of yin and yang qi. Yin and yang gave birth to chaos, which can definitely restrain Chaos Body. Buzz. Eyes opened. The blood and chi power spread by the golden pattern, under the traction of desolate ancient saint body, continued to flow into his eyes. Gather all the strength in the body. Wong Tang is making a big bet. Betting that the attack of the yin and yang qi in the ancient dual pupils can break the chaotic vision with one blow. Destruction black light. Wong Tang shouted softly, and his eyes shot out various weapons transformed by the power of destruction. There are a total of 18. Knife, spear, sword, halberd, axe, hatchet, hook, fork, whip, mace, hammer, halberd, stick, lance, club, spear, rake. It can be said that all 18 kinds of weapons are available. Come on. 5 color rays of light, come out. Li Feiyu's mouth corners slightly raised, and the vision behind him changed dramatically in an instant. From a foggy chaos, suddenly shot out 5 rays of light, which are more terrifying than the 5 elements that make up all things. It is a bit similar to Kong Zan's divine ability. Even the laws of the surrounding void became desolate and dim after being illuminated. But after being touched by the 18 rays of destructive black light, Li Feiyu's 5-color glow was actually destroyed by half. It works. This yin and yang qi and the chaos qi are evenly matched. Finally, there is a way to deal with him. Wong Tang moved his body and said happily. The next moment, boom, his eyes covered with runes flickered again, and the divine treasure of the chaos world was released. It shone on Li Feiyu all at once. In an instant, his actions and perceptions were immediately slowed down by 5 times. If he didn't have a chaos body, the slowing effect of the chaos world would be at least 10 times. No. Not good. Li Feiyu panicked, knowing that he had met his nemesis. Then, Wong Tang's first layer divine treasure overlapped with the second layer divine treasure, and his eyes instantly became like the eyes of Samsara. Buzz. A ball of chaos flame descended invisibly and ignited Li Feiyu's whole body. This is the effect of the overlapping ancient dual pupils divine treasure. The flame driven by the yin and yang qi, born in chaos, can also burn chaos, and Li Feiyu's chaos body constantly releases chaos energy, which is undoubtedly gasoline meeting fire. Becomes the combustion accelerator of chaos flame. Ah, 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 ah. Li Feiyu screamed continuously, and the slow effect was burned out by the flame. Then, he restrained his own chaos energy and tried to extinguish the flame, but found that he could not extinguish it. This is the end. He is a chaos body. Once continuously burned by the chaos flame, it will damage the original power. Wong Tang, I give up. I give up. Li Feiyu endured the pain and shouted at Wong Tang. Now he didn't care about the monster emperor's heart, and he only wanted to put out the flames. Hearing this, in the void, 10 Monster Alliance elders instantly took action and temporarily stopped the burning of the flames with great magic power. Emperor Wong Tang, he has given up. You won this game. Can this flame be extinguished? The great elder of demon blood came to him and asked. As the great elder of Monster Alliance, there was a pleading meaning in his words, which surprised everyone. This is no wonder. Wong Tang is not only powerful, but also has a background that cannot be underestimated. Besides, the person who tied the bell must be the one to untie it. The released chaos flame can only be taken back by the ancient dual pupils. Don't worry, Senior. I just want to spar with him, I don't mean to take his life. Besides, he is a human race, it's useless for me to kill him, I only kill those precious ingredients. Wong Tang grinned, which made people shudder. The next moment, he opened his eyes again and retracted the chaos flame. And Li Feiyu, who was not burned by the flame. Although his life was not in danger for the time being, his whole face was completely unrecognizable and he fainted. Oh my god, even his own people could be so cruel. Wong Tang's heart is not ordinary cruel. Someone swallowed his saliva and said in shock. Li Feiyu's tragic end has been deeply imprinted in their hearts. If they were to go up, maybe the end would be like that of the Golden Crow Emperor. Not only would he be killed on the spot and unable to beg for mercy, but even his body would be taken away and cooked. I don't think he should be called Dongshan. He should be called Dongmo, a demon who kills without blinking an eye. A monster race prodigy was so scared that he trembled all over and gave him a new nickname. To them, monster race. Wong Tang is indeed a demon. After all, in his eyes, the many prodigy under the ring are just fresh ingredients. At the same time, second round, Wong Tang wins. Is there anyone who will challenge next? If no one challenges within 3 hours, they will automatically advance to the next round and get a place. On the ring, the great elder of demon blood raised his voice and announced. He changed the rules temporarily. The key is that there is no human race under the ring. Even if there is a prodigy of the human race, he is unwilling to fight him. And if the monster race goes up, no matter what his identity is, he will be ruthlessly killed by Wong Tang. If the stalemate continues, then the monster race event will become a bubble. So, helplessly, he had to change the rules temporarily. As for the monster race prodigy off the field, they were eager for Wong Tang to advance, so they naturally would not protest against the temporary change of the demon blood elder. Soon, 3 hours passed, still no one challenged Wong Tang, and he also got 3 places in the monster tower. After the battle arena, Wong Tang, the emperor's son. I was right about you. After just 2 games, you scared the myriad monsters off the field and didn't dare to challenge. I wonder how I should reward you in the future. Su Ruyu raised her eyebrows and smiled, jokingly. The charming eyes, like a wolf and a tiger, seemed to want to execute Wong Tang on the spot. Reward, Su Emperor's daughter, you might as well give yourself to me. You have seen my brother's strength. The great emperor of this life is none other than him. If you marry him first, won't you become the emperor and empress? Saint Emperor was thick-skinned and fanned the flames. But Wong Tang didn't care. Instead, he found an open space on the side and began to close his eyes in nurturing spirit. After the 30 people gathered, it takes a lot of energy to break through the tower, and he must adjust himself to the best condition. And without Wong Tang on the ring, many monster race prodigy began to show their skills one by one. Originally, Wong Tang and his team were strong. After directly advancing, they also eliminated Li Feiyu and 3 others, which greatly increased their chances. A few hours later, with the action of the Great Elder of Demon Blood, the 30 places for breaking through the tower were officially finalized. Among them were Niu Tian, Tianjiaomo Dragon Race Emperor, Dragon Bird Clan Emperor. 30 places for this monster race event have been finalized. All of you follow me to the entrance of the monster tower. When you get there, you can enter by yourself. There is no restriction at the entrance. As long as your cultivation is below the Emperor Dao realm, you can enter it. The 3rd Elder of Monster Alliance waved his hand and said to everyone. The next moment, Wong Tang woke up from the nurturing spirit, looked at Saint Emperor and Su Ruyu, and followed the 3 Elders of Monster Alliance. After a while, under the guidance of the Elders of Monster Alliance, a group of 30 people came to the towering monster tower. 9-story monster tower. It really lives up to its reputation. Each layer has a slightly different color, but more of it shows the majestic imperial power. Dong. As soon as they arrived here, a bell sounded from the top of the monster tower, shaking everyone's heart. That is the heartbeat of the great emperor of my clan. The heart of the monster emperor has always been on the 9th floor. This time I must get it. Su Ruyu looked at the top of the monster tower and said with determination. After planning for so long, she even specially invited Wong Tang, who has desolate ancient saint body, to come. She didn't believe that she would fail again. Monkey, let's go. You lead the way, I'll hold the line behind. Wong Tang winked at Saint Emperor and said. Since they were all going through the level together, it would be better to let Saint Emperor go first. Break through a few levels first. Get rid of these troublesome people behind. Nodded. Saint Emperor carried the black iron rod, with his fighting blood boiling, and rushed in first. And the rest of the people who entered the tower. Then they stayed behind obediently. After Wong Tang and the other two entered one by one, they dared to try to enter together. The main reason was that Wong Tang had cast too much of a shadow on them before, so they all wanted to avoid him. Dwang. As Wong Tang and the other two entered, countless ghost shadows instantly appeared in the empty first floor of the demon tower. They were all incarnations of various monster races. Emperor Wong Tang, the first 8 floors are all monsters. Their strength will gradually increase, and their number will slowly increase. Let's not hide them. Let's rush to the 9th floor first, which is our ultimate goal. Su Ruyu said immediately. As soon as she entered the tower, the azure lotus pattern on her thighs became hotter and hotter. The throbbing from the blood. It was calling her all the time. Every time she entered the tower, it was like this. The heart of the Azure Emperor kept calling her, his descendant. Well, good. Monkey, listen to Su Dinu, kill these phantom monsters quickly and rush to the 9th floor first. Wong Tang nodded and said to Saint Emperor. The next moment, his eyes kept emitting destructive black light, sweeping the monsters on the first floor like electric eyes. His left hand turned into grass, waving the grass sword formula. And his right hand clenched tightly, hitting the terrifying 6 paths of reincarnation fist again and again. The three worked together. In the blink of an eye, they broke through several floors and reached the 7th floor, which was only 2 steps away from the 9th floor. They left the other people who broke into the tower behind. At the same time, Monster Tower, 9th floor. A will that supported the opening heaven gradually woke up after sensing Wong Tang's breath. Sacred body, is the sacred body of my lineage. After so many years, finally a desolate ancient saint body has entered the tower, ha 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 ha. If Wong Tang came here, he would find that the will to speak came from the remains of the great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body that he had been thinking about day and night. However, after endless years of erosion, he only had this little bit of will left. If it weren't for Wong Tang's arrival, he felt the breath of the desolate ancient saint body, and perhaps he would continue to sleep. Not only, I can also feel that my descendants who entered the tower several times have also come here. It seems that this is God's will. I was too impatient the previous few times. Next to it, a majestic shadow floated out of a lotus-shaped stone. There was no lack of imperial power shaking in it. Take a closer look. This lotus-shaped stone is actually a beating heart, and you can even see the imprint of the great imperial law. That's right. This is the heart of the Azure Emperor. The shadow just now was a trace of consciousness attached to the heart of Azure Emperor. Azure Emperor, what is coming will eventually come. This time, someone from my lineage is here, and we will definitely get what we want. The shadow of the great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body spoke slowly. The previous few times, Su Ruyu came to the 9th floor of the demon tower and was blocked outside the golden stone gate. The Azure Emperor's will inside was anxious. He almost wanted to scold the great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body for using its bone marrow to condense a stone gate. Otherwise, Su Ruyu would have been let in long ago. Inherited his great emperor heart. Fortunately, this time, Wong Tang with the desolate ancient saint body came, so opening the golden stone gate was not a problem. At the same time, under the full-scale attack of Wong Tang and the other two, they successfully broke into the 9th floor of the demon tower. There are no phantom demon spirits here. There is only a stone door standing in front, as if it were made of 99K pure gold. It illuminates the dark and empty 9th floor of the demon tower. Emperor Wong Tang, look, behind this golden stone door is an independent secret room, which contains the heart of our great emperor. Now it depends on whether your desolate ancient saint body can open this golden stone door. Su Ruyu pointed at the stone door and spoke, and the excitement in her heart was indescribable. after several setbacks, finally came here again. Golden stone door. This breath is the blood breath of the desolate ancient saint body. Sure enough, there are remains of the great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body. Wong Tang's eyes condensed and sensed the breath. Then, he took 2 steps forward and reached out to touch the stone door. Buzz. Under the throbbing, he drew out the ancient holy blood in his body, and resonated with the golden stone gate. Come, my people, I am also a descendant of the desolate ancient saint body. I am waiting for you behind the stone gate. An invisible will burst out from the stone gate. It instantly poured into Wong Tang's mind. This is the consciousness of the remains of the great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body, calling him through the stone gate cast by the bone marrow. The next moment, Wong Tang's mind moved, and the golden ancient holy blood like the sun boiled, slowly permeating through his palm to the stone gate. Boom! When his ancient holy blood touched the stone gate, the golden stone gate seemed to have life in an instant, like liquid pure gold slowly melting, until all dripped onto the ground and disappeared. The stone gate is open. Desolate ancient saint body is the key to opening it. Su Ruyu was overjoyed and wanted to go in immediately, but she still held back. After all, it was Wong Tang who opened the stone door. He had to know some rules. Monkey, Su Di knew. Let's go in. The stone door has been opened. Wong Tang waved to the 2 and smiled. Then, the 3 of them stepped over the golden stone door one by one and entered the independent space inside. And after they all entered, on the originally empty ground, a group of golden blood condensed again. Then it turned into a golden stone door again. Inside, there's nothing special. It's dark, not as bright as outside. Saint Emperor scratched his head and said, looking around. They seemed to have entered a black area and could only go deeper with the weak light. After a while, dong, the familiar bell sounded. In the distance, a cyan light appeared, instantly attracting Su Ruyu behind. That is the heart of my great emperor. There is no mistake. This blood aura belongs to my Azure Lotus clan. Su Ruyu was very excited. When the green light was emitted, the immortal imperial power was also transmitted slowly. It was enough to confirm that it was the heart of the monster emperor. Not only that, next to the green light, there was a golden glow. Although there was no imperial power, the extreme blood and chi power still shocked Wong Tang. That was the desolate ancient saint body of great accomplishment. At this moment, the area around the 3 people was suddenly filled with these 2 rays of light, revealing a whole independent space. My descendant, you are finally here. The voice of the Tao Emperor sounded, mixed with the supreme imperial law. The next moment, a tall figure walked out of the green light. It was a middle-aged man, wearing a green robe, exuding immortal chi like a banished immortal. Although it was an illusory shadow, the unparalleled momentum was like the ancient great emperor coming in person, sweeping across the sky and the earth. It was the legendary great emperor of Nanling. Azure Emperor. Great Emperor. Descendant Su Ruyu, pays homage to the Ancestor. Su Ruyu knelt on the ground without hesitation and kowtowed 3 times to the shadow of Azure Emperor. Because at the moment when Azure Emperor appeared, the Azure Lotus totem on her thigh was extremely hot, pulling the blood power in her body. Get up. Azure Emperor waved his hand and helped Su Ruyu up. At this moment, Azure Emperor glanced at Wong Tang, nodded and smiled. Yes, you opened the 10 shackles of desolate ancient saint body, you are much stronger than that guy. And you also have ancient dual pupils and supreme bone, and you have walked out of the great Tao of using your body as a seed. Your talent is indeed stronger than ours. One glance for 10,000 years. This is not a boast. Although this is a trace of spiritual sense left in the heart of Azure Emperor, as the legendary monster emperor of the past, he still has this little insight. A simple glance at Wong Tang. He got a full understanding of his details. As soon as he finished speaking, a terrifying blood force burst out from behind Azure Emperor like a wave. Azure Emperor, how is it? Is my desolate ancient saint body lineage much stronger than your descendants? Looking in the direction of the voice, it was a man in a golden robe, with his hands behind his back, like an emperor inspecting the mortal world. But what was different from the emperors on earth was his unparalleled aura, coupled with the majestic blood and chi power like a dragon. It was truly infinitely close to the emperor. This person. It was the desolate ancient saint body of great accomplishment. Emperor Huang. Although he had not yet achieved the Tao of becoming an emperor, he had developed the desolate ancient saint body to the extreme. Enough to compete with the great emperor. Emperor Huang. You still like to compare so much, this time you win. Your descendants really make me shine. Azure Emperor smiled and shook his head. Since he and Emperor Huang met, they liked to compare each other in any aspect. Even the descendants had to compete. Then, Emperor Huang walked up to Wong Tang and nodded, saying, "Your talent and physique are definitely the best in the history of my sacred body lineage. Unfortunately, the desolate ancient saint body has not yet opened the divine treasure, otherwise, even if your realm is still low, few people can do anything to you." Divine treasure. Once reminded, Wong Tang instantly remembered that the pavilion master of Heavenly Secrets Pavilion told him that the divine treasure can be opened by fusing the remains of the great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body. But he couldn't ask directly. After all, these are the remains of Emperor Huang. And as a member of the desolate ancient saint body lineage, asking for someone else's remains right away is somewhat disrespectful. Senior Emperor Huang, I came here today specifically for this reason. I wonder if there is a way for me to open the divine treasure. As soon as these words came out, Emperor Huang did not hide it, nodded and said, "I do have a way for you to open the divine treasure. But, you must pass my test and carry my unfinished will." Test. That's true. As a great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body, it is impossible to open the divine treasure for no reason. Even the descendants of the desolate ancient saint body cannot do it. You must go through this process. I don't know what the test is, senior. Wong Tang bowed and asked directly. Before Emperor Huang could speak, the Azure Emperor next to him smiled gently and said, "It's very simple, as long as you can beat the will imprint of Emperor Huang in his youth. Defeat the young Emperor Huang. You are not kidding. Even if it is the young great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body, there is still an invincible law in the imprint. How can you win this?" Saint Emperor spread his hands and said unfairly. The so-called young Emperor Huang was actually transformed from the compressed will of Emperor Huang at this moment. But even so, his great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body's fighting spirit and invincible road. But it remains in the imprint of the boy's will. In other words, the Emperor Huang of the novice village. Although his cultivation and physique are almost the same as Wong Tang, his operation is at the level of great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body. The difficulty is not ordinary. If you feel it is unfair, you can refuse. Correspondingly, I will still open the divine treasure for you. But, as a member of my desolate ancient saint body lineage, I believe you are definitely not a timid person who retreats. Emperor Huang looked at Wong Tang and spoke confidently. He believed that Wong Tang would not refuse. And he would not directly accept this beggar's food. Because as a member of the desolate ancient saint body lineage, the holy blood boiling with fighting spirit in the body will never retreat. That invincible road is to fight forward without hesitation. Senior, I am willing to try. I also want to try whether there is a gap with you in your youth. Wong Tang's mouth corners slightly raised, and he gladly accepted it. He had benefited a lot from the previous battle with Hun Zan, and now he has such an opportunity. How could he miss it? What's more, it was a battle with the young imprint of the great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body. Even if he couldn't beat it, there is still a system to back him up, right? Ancestor, I came here for your heart. Do I need to pass the test like Wong Tang to get your approval? Su Ruyu thought of something and asked directly. However, the next second, Azure Emperor's words made her dumbfounded. Even Saint Emperor and Wong Tang on the side had their cheeks twitched, and 1,000 grass mud horses ran through their hearts. No need. I won't go through so much trouble. Since you are my descendant and you are here, the heart should be passed on to you. Come with me later. My remaining spiritual sense will help you merge. And you have my blood. Maybe you will have merged before they finish fighting. You can come out and watch the battle. Wow, this gap is really huge. As expected, women are treated better. They don't have to go through such trouble to pass the test. Then, Azure Emperor took Su Ruyu and left this area and appeared in a small space. There is nothing here. There is only a green lotus-shaped stone. It contains infinite imperial power and makes a beating sound like a bell from time to time. Go, merge the heart. Inherit my will and lead the Azure Lotus clan to go on. Azure Emperor gently raised his hand and sent Su Ruyu to the top of the lotus heart. The next moment, just like Guanyin sitting on the lotus, Su Ruyu sat directly on the azure lotus heart. In an instant, all the blood in her body was affected, and it was at the same frequency as the azure lotus heart. At the same time, Emperor Huang outside, with spiritual sense in mind, suppressed his own cultivation and breath to the venerable realm. The illusory figure, it also gradually shrank. It looked like a teenager. Come on, I only use the power of the desolate ancient saint body. You can use all your tricks. As long as you can beat me, you will pass. The young Emperor Huang grinned, full of fighting spirit. As a desolate ancient saint body, basically only one can appear in an era. So the battle between the same lineage. He still yearned for it. Okay, senior, you have to be careful. Wong Tang no longer concealed his strength, and the power of the three major physiques was fully released. Dual pupils opened their eyes. The black light of destruction shot out first. One after another, terrifying golden weapons attacked the young Emperor Huang from all directions. Divine treasure of ancient dual pupils. It's really good, but it's useless against desolate ancient saint body. The young Emperor Venerable laughed. He opened and closed his hands, clenched them into fists, and collided directly with the weapons that shot at him. Boom! It was just a simple punch. These magical weapons condensed by the power of destruction were all destroyed by the young Emperor Huang. Divine treasure is good, but it's not absolutely invincible. As long as you practice a great Tao to the extreme, there is a way to break any attack. Take this desolate ancient saint body for example. It is invincible at the same stage, and its blood and chi are magnificent. Once you truly understand the essence, you can break all methods with one force. The young Emperor Huang stabilized his body and taught. It seemed to be a test for Wong Tang. In fact, Emperor Huang took this opportunity to teach by example. He taught Wong Tang his life experience. One force can break all laws. Wong Tang stood there, muttering to himself. The next moment, he put away the dual pupils that had opened their eyes, and even the supreme bone was hidden back in his body. Only the desolate ancient saint body that had not opened the divine treasure was left. He wanted to use the desolate ancient saint body to defeat the young Emperor Huang, who also had the desolate ancient saint body. 6 paths of reincarnation fist. Wong Tang shouted, compressed his body inch by inch, and burst out the full power of the sacred body. And the 6 reincarnation black holes. At the same time, they merged into his fist and blasted towards Emperor Huang. Ha! Perfectly matched with the divine ability of the sacred body. You are hiding it well. This boxing method makes me a little excited. Then let's have a good fight. The young Emperor Huang narrowed his eyes and smiled. Just kidding. This is obtained from the supreme secret realm. It can stimulate every inch of flesh and blood of the desolate ancient saint body, and increase the original 10 times combat power several times again. Almost instantly, the terrifying power displayed by Wong Tang surpassed the young Emperor Huang at this moment. The next second, the fists of the two immediately hit each other. The confrontation between the two desolate ancient saint bodies, the ultimate physical strength that erupted, set off a huge wave. Not only did it cause the 9th floor of the monster tower to vibrate. Even the entire monster tower shook. What's going on? Why is the monster tower shaking? Could it be that someone has successfully merged the great emperor's heart? Outside the monster tower, the great elder of demon blood looked solemn and muttered to himself. This monster tower was left by the Azure Emperor. Although it is not the extreme Tao Emperor weapon, it is almost the same. Why is it shaking so violently? It's impossible. With their speed, how could they reach the 9th floor of the monster tower so quickly? And there is a golden stone gate there, and no one has ever entered it. The second elder of the Monster Alliance frowned and sighed. And inside the tower, the rest of the monster race prodigy who entered the tower were also frightened by the shaking and temporarily stood there. The fastest of them only reached the 6th floor. There is still such a long distance. But there is no sign of Wong Tang and the others, and it is basically determined that they are attacking the Golden Stone Gate. Everyone, speed up. Then Wong Tang and the other 3 may have arrived, and we can't fall behind. Niu Tian's expression moved and said to the people around him. The heart of the Monster Emperor. He also wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to get it. Little did he know, Wong Tang and the other two had already passed the Golden Stone Gate and were receiving the corresponding inheritance inside. At the same time, after the young Emperor Huang and Wong Tang's attacks collided with each other, they each retreated and pulled a certain distance. Sure enough, even with the 6 paths of reincarnation fist, the combat power has increased several times, but it is still a bit at a disadvantage. His control over the desolate ancient saint body is too strong. Without absolute overwhelming power, it is impossible to defeat him. Wong Tang muttered to himself after thinking for a while. After all, Emperor Huang has countless combat experiences and a lifetime of control over the desolate ancient saint body. Even when he was a teenager, Wong Tang found it difficult to suppress. While thinking, he called out the system in his mind. At this moment, he can only rely on the rewards of the system sign in to seek a way out. System, sign in for me. As soon as the voice fell, the mechanical voice came slowly. Ding, congratulations to the host, the sign-in is successful. Get the sign-in reward, Holy Bone. Holy Bone. Wong Tang was confused for a moment when he heard these 2 words. He thought it was the bones of a saint. That thing is of no use to him, and its value is not even comparable to the general divine ability. However, this holy bone is not that holy bone. It is the holy bone of the desolate ancient saint body. The source of the power of the ancient holy blood, containing the original power comparable to the Emperor realm. The system sound disappeared. The next moment, a golden light poured into Wong Tang's body, and gradually condensed and formed on his chest. A piece of bone, crystal clear, but it contains endless blood and energy. Unlike the 108 supreme bones, this bone is independently fused on Wong Tang's chest. Like the king of a tribe, commanding all 108 supreme bones. This feeling, it seems that this is the real power of the sacred body. Wong Tang closed his eyes and felt the change in his breath. The vitality is so strong. It is unmatched. Then, the golden blood surged. From the inside to the outside, a golden divine pattern was carved at the center of his eyebrows. This is a divine pattern that belongs exclusively to the sacred body. Moreover, the fusion of the holy bones affects the transformation of every drop of his holy blood, and even every piece of precious bone is being reshaped. Holy bone, you have condensed the holy bone. Your path is destined to be farther and broader than mine. Perhaps, the future crisis of the myriad worlds will also depend on you to break the situation. The young Emperor Huang was fascinated. Rumor has it, only the great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body can break the confinement of heaven and earth. After breaking through to become the great emperor, can the unique holy bone be condensed? Now Wong Tang venerable realm has condensed, and he is destined to become the great emperor in the future, surpassing all the desolate ancient saint bodies in the past and present. Come, senior, let me fight you again. Wong Tang's golden hair fluttered, his eyes sparkled, like the reincarnation of the peerless war god. The golden blood in his body, continuously boiling. Bang! A punch was thrown. Different from the previous moves, Wong Tang used the most primitive method. No divine ability was used. Every punch hit the flesh. Directly use the power of the origin of the holy bone. Gather the purest power of the desolate ancient saint body and blast out this all-powerful attack. Boy, I recognize you, come on. The young Emperor Huang laughed, and the satisfaction in his eyes was almost overflowing. And with his punch, the two collided again. However, after the dazzling explosion, this time it was obvious that the winner was decided. The young Emperor Huang lost. He was bathed in golden holy blood and half knelt on the ground. Although this was the imprint of his consciousness, it was a real personal experience. The first failure. It was really uncomfortable. Senior, are you okay? Wong Tang restrained his breath and stepped forward to help Emperor Huang up. Ha 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 ha, it's okay. Anyway, I only have a residual consciousness, and I'm not afraid of getting hurt at all. It's this duel that made me fulfill my wish and see the hope of successors. Emperor Huang returned to his original shape and waved his hand. Since he was born, he has never lost. Even when he met the Azure Emperor of the same period, the two fought evenly. Today, he completely lost to Wong Tang. What a relief. Seeing Wong Tang's unlimited potential, he was already satisfied. Then, Emperor Huang waved his hand, and a vibrant body instantly flew out of the golden area behind him. It's called a body. In fact, it's a golden skeleton. It's like it's made of pure gold. However, the golden bone marrow in the bones seems to have disappeared completely. That's the power of the entire remains. Obviously. It was used to condense into a stone gate. You have passed my test. I should also fulfill my promise and open the divine treasure for you. This is my great accomplishment, desolate ancient saint body. Although it has lost its bone marrow, it can still fuse with your sacred body and directly inherit my divine treasure. And there is no overbearing power in it. With your venerable realm strength, it is enough to fuse it, and you don't have to worry about exploding and dying. Emperor Huang moved his fingers lightly and placed the remains in front of Wong Tang. As long as Wong Tang fuses the remains of the sacred body, not only can it inherit the divine treasure and open it directly, but the desolate ancient saint body itself will also be more powerful. After all, 1 + 1 = 2. The fusion between the two desolate ancient saint bodies is destined to be upgraded to several levels. Then, this great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body slowly sank into Wong Tang's body under the urging of Emperor Huang's will. It completely merged with his original desolate ancient saint body. You have condensed the holy bone. You can use the power of the holy bone to pull the two desolate ancient saint bodies and speed up the fusion. As long as the fusion is completed, the divine treasure in my remains will naturally merge together. Emperor Huang controlled his own remains while constantly instructing Wong Tang on how to deal with it. Hearing this, Wong Tang's attention was instantly focused. The next moment, he closed his eyes, mobilized the ancient holy blood in his body, and rushed towards the holy bone in front of his chest. He just wanted to stimulate the holy bone. Let the holy bone release pure original power under the flushing of golden blood. This will speed up the fusion of the remains. Boom, the blood and chi are like a dragon, shaking the sky. Melt it for me. Wong Tang opened his eyes and roared to the sky. Under the traction of the holy bones, Wong Tang's desolate ancient saint body instantly merged with the remains. The body that was originally pure gold became as dazzling as a comet. And Wong Tang's cultivation, also under the fusion of the remains of the great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body, broke through to the 9th layer of the venerable realm. Only one step away from the Emperor Dao realm. Ha 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 ha. It succeeded. You try it quickly and see the special features of this divine treasure. Emperor Huang nodded with satisfaction and spoke excitedly. He couldn't wait. He wanted to see the scene of Wong Tang opening the divine treasure. Okay, senior. I'll try it now. Wong Tang nodded and replied. Not only to let Emperor Huang see the successful inheritance of the divine treasure, but he also wanted to see the divine treasure of this desolate ancient saint body. What kind of power does it have? Buzz. There was a loud rumble. In Wong Tang's golden body, it was as if a shocking explosion had occurred. Inch by inch of flesh and blood. Based on the ancient holy blood, it burned with a dark black flame, but did not hurt his body at all. This flame, is it the divine treasure of the desolate ancient saint body? The blood sacrifice boundary. A thought came to Wong Tang's mind, and he muttered to himself. The blood inheritance boundary. This is the only divine treasure of the desolate ancient saint body. When fighting, his own strength, speed, defense and other aspects will be improved by dozens of times. Especially in terms of recovery, he can be called an indestructible cockroach. Even if he is beaten to only a drop of ancient holy blood, he can recover his body in an instant. The recovery ability is comparable to Wolverine. Beat Deadpool. Yes, this is the divine treasure of the desolate ancient saint body. And you have the blessing of the holy bone, the effect of this divine treasure is probably even stronger. Emperor Huang nodded with satisfaction. It was like a teacher with unfulfilled ambitions, looking at a proud disciple he had taught. And Wong Tang was undoubtedly the disciple that satisfied him. At the same time, behind the two of them, the green light that originally illuminated an area suddenly disappeared. Following is a strong and oppressive imperial power. And it was also mixed with the sound of heartbeats. That's right, it's not the dead and silent bell sound before, but the heartbeat of a real living being. Emperor Huang, I didn't expect you to be defeated by this guy so quickly. And it seems that he has opened the special divine treasure of your sacred body. Azure Emperor stepped forward, with a bright smile on his face. However, his consciousness shadow remaining in his heart became more blurred and transparent. And behind him, Su Ruyu also appeared slowly. On the left side of his chest, you can clearly see that an azure lotus-shaped heart is beating continuously. There are even several seals covered with runes. And Su Ruyu's original venerable realm aura. It also reached the peak level at this moment. Obviously, with the help of Azure Emperor, she successfully merged with the Great Emperor's heart. With the improvement of her cultivation in the future, and the breaking of the seals one by one, the power of the Azure Emperor's heart will be slowly released. The Yangtze River's waves behind push the waves ahead. The descendants of my sacred body lineage must surpass me, an old man, or who will protect the myriad worlds in the future. Emperor Huang narrowed his eyes and smiled. Obviously, there was something behind these words. Emperor Huang, your and my descendants have completed their own fusion, so, should we tell them the secret? Azure Emperor changed the subject and became serious. Secret. Wong Tang, who heard these two words. The curiosity in his heart was aroused, and so was Su Ruyu behind Azure Emperor. At this time, Emperor Huang nodded, turned his head to look at Wong Tang, and asked, "Boy, do you know why Azure Emperor and I are here?" The words were very direct, and Emperor Huang's eyes became sharper. It seemed that he recalled the past. This made Wong Tang fall into thought instantly. According to previous understanding, Emperor Huang, as the great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body, was in the same era as Azure Emperor. The relationship between the two was also extraordinary. They were good brothers. If we judge by common sense, the two of them came here when they were about to sit and die. Then each of them retained consciousness and residual soul, waiting for the destined person. But on second thought, Emperor Huang could ask such a question, which means that they did not die normally. Could it be, Senior, you two were seriously injured and forced to flee to the 9th floor of this demon tower? Wong Tang suddenly realized. You guessed right. The two of us were fatally injured and could not stop the passing of life. In the end, Emperor Huang left behind his will and remains, and my body returned to the heart, retaining this remnant soul. Azure Emperor sighed and said. As soon as this was said, the three people were shocked, and even the Saint Emperor beside them felt incredible. How is it possible, with your cultivation strength, who in the myriad worlds can be your opponent? Even with just one finger, all the quasi-emperor strongmen can be wiped out. The Saint Emperor was shocked and said, a great emperor. A contemporary great emperor at his peak. He is an invincible existence in the myriad worlds, not to mention a desolate ancient saint body of great accomplishment. Someone could seriously injure both of them, and left them with irreparable Tao injuries, forcing them to sit and die in the demon tower. How can it not be terrifying? You're right, in this myriad world, there is indeed no one who can match us, but the one who seriously injured the two of us was the heavenly demon from outside the domain who wanted to invade. Emperor Huang shook his head and said, heavenly demon from outside the domain. This is the first time they have heard of it. Originally, there are other creatures outside the ancient star domain. And it seems that there are many strong ones. Otherwise, even the Azure Emperor and Emperor Huang would have to escape to the demon tower with serious injuries. Ancestor, is this heavenly demon from outside the domain really that strong? And for countless years, there has been no invasion of heavenly demon from outside the entire ancient star domain. Su Ruyu was a little confused and couldn't help but speak. In his cognition, the great emperor is the strongest existence. And this heavenly demon from outside the domain that can seriously injure them, since it is so terrifying and powerful, why didn't it attack the ancient star domain? This extraterritorial heavenly demon is somewhat similar to the demon race. They are similar to our human race, living in a continent full of killing and demonic energy. The most important point is that they are not restricted by destiny. There are several great emperor realms, and their strength can continue to increase. When they invaded, Emperor Huang and I tried our best to stop them. After 9 days and 9 nights of fighting, we jointly killed 3 great emperor heavenly demons. But a heavenly demon who surpassed the great emperor appeared and seriously injured Emperor Huang with one palm, so we were forced to sit in this demon tower. Azure Emperor raised his head and sighed, and told the whole story. If they hadn't discovered the invasion of heavenly demon in time, they would not be afraid of life and death and resisted alone outside the star domain. I'm afraid that the myriad worlds would have fallen long ago. You know, the demonic energy of the extraterritorial heavenly demon can pollute and assimilate all spirit chi. Once they enter the ancient star domain in large numbers, there will definitely be a lot of suffering. However, the extraterritorial heavenly demons below the Great Emperor realm cannot directly cross the star domain. They can only descend to the heavens through a magic pillar. At the beginning, those Great Emperor heavenly demons wanted to connect the magic pillar to the ancient star domain and let the army invade in one fell swoop. Fortunately, I destroyed it in time. Emperor Huang grinned and continued. As soon as he mentioned this matter, he couldn't help but feel proud. That magic pillar was more terrifying than Emperor weapon. It was directly hit and destroyed by the desolate ancient saint body that he opened the blood sacrifice boundary. That is, after Emperor Huang destroyed the magic pillar. A heavenly demon who surpassed the Great Emperor took action and seriously injured us from a distance, and then wanted to directly connect the two domain channels. I was forced to explode my destiny and shift the heavenly way of the ancient star domain. After losing the location of destiny, they can no longer detect the location of the ancient star domain. Azure Emperor took over the conversation, full of helplessness. Just imagine it. A contemporary Great Emperor, with the power to make the myriad worlds submit, and a long lifespan. For the sake of the creatures of the myriad worlds, he is willing to blow up his destiny. What kind of spirit is this? No wonder. In the records of our clan, there is only information about our ancestors ruling Nanling and before, but no news after that. The heart of the monster emperor is found in this tower by an ancestor who accidentally discovered it through the throbbing of his blood. Su Ruyu understood it instantly. Some incomprehensible parts of the memory were connected at this time. Everything makes sense now, but I still have a question. In theory, every time the destiny is carried, the heavenly demon can sense it. But why didn't the great emperors who achieved enlightenment after you encounter the invasion of the heavenly demon? And they basically all died normally. Wong Tang touched his chin and asked suddenly. Because their magic pillars were destroyed. Even the heavenly demons of the Great Emperor realm cannot survive in the ancient star domain without the support of the magic pillars. Moreover, each positioning requires the cooperation of several Great Emperors. Although they are not suppressed by the destiny, it still takes a long time for a Great Emperor heavenly demon to appear. I calculated the time. When the destiny appears in this life, the heavenly demon outside the domain will definitely appear. Emperor Huang pinched his fingers and said affirmatively. After this sorting out, Wong Tang no longer had any doubts, but instead increased his respect for the two. He can calculate so much for the creatures of the heavens. He is worthy of being a powerful man of his generation. Senior, don't worry, I am here in this life. If the heavenly demon from outside the domain wants to get involved in the ancient star domain, I, Wong Tang, will be the first to disagree. Wong Tang patted his chest and promised. Since he accepted the gift of the great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body, he must inherit the will to intercept the heavenly demon. Moreover, no one can escape the invasion of the heavenly demon from outside the domain. He can only resist with all his strength. Ancestor, me too. Su Ruyu touched his chest with one hand and nodded. As the descendant of Azure Emperor and the inheritor of the Great Emperor's bloodline, how can he live up to what his ancestors did? Me too, Saint Emperor said anxiously and cupped his hands. With the guarantee of the three people, Emperor Huang and Azure Emperor looked at each other and smiled with relief. The feeling of having a successor. It cannot be expressed in words. Gradually, the phantoms of the two peoples will begin to emit a little bit of divine light. One gold and one blue. Their entire bodies became more and more transparent. You two have taken over our will. It's worth waiting here for so many years. Now we can leave with peace of mind. Azure Emperor and Emperor Huang spoke together. The three people who saw this scene also respectfully sent the two seniors away. Their will and residual soul. They stayed in this 9th floor demon tower just to wait for the arrival of descendants like the two of them. Now everything is arranged properly. As they have long left the world, this last remaining consciousness seems to have really ushered in liberation. Two seniors, have a good journey. Wong Tang bowed his hands and Chen Ken watched them go. Buzz. With the last ray of light dissipating, Azure Emperor and Emperor Huang completely disappeared in the myriad worlds. The only proof that they are still alive. Only the remains of the sacred body fused by Wong Tang and the Azure Lotus Heart in Su Ruoyu's left chest. After a long time, Wong Tang and the other two left this space and appeared outside the golden stone gate. And when they went out, this golden stone door made of sacred body bone marrow suddenly dimmed, and then it seemed to be embedded in the inner wall of the demon tower. It sealed off the entire space. At this time, the other monster race prodigy who entered the tower just broke through the 8th floor and blocked the location of Wong Tang and the other two. What's going on? Where is the golden stone door? Why is it gone? It was clearly here when I came here before. A monster race prodigy stepped forward, touched the golden stone door that had been assimilated into the inner wall, and asked in confusion. They had come here with great effort. As a result, the golden stone door disappeared, so they had come here in vain. Monkey, you came here first. Didn't you see the golden stone door either? Niu Tian frowned and asked in confusion. As a race in the forbidden zone of life, he naturally went to Saint Emperor to seek information first. And Saint Emperor, who knew everything, how could he tell Niu Tian about the existence of Azure Emperor and Emperor Huang? Besides, Wong Tang and Su Ruyu were beside him. One of them had merged the remains of great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body, and the other had merged the heart of great emperor. If this group of monster race prodigy knew about it, once out of the tower, those old immortals who couldn't hold back would definitely chase the two of them at all costs. Brother Niu, no, we did come here first, but we didn't see the golden stone door after searching for a long time. We are also puzzled. Saint Emperor spread his hands and said sincerely. Good guy, this lie is simply flawless. And looking at Saint Emperor's sincere red face, Niu Tian chose to believe it without any defense. Then, everyone searched everywhere on the 9th floor again. Still didn't see the golden stone door. Helplessly, they could only return together. After all, there was no use staying here. As soon as they left the monster tower, the 10 elders of Monster Alliance stood at the door curiously. How is it? Has the golden stone door been opened? Is there really the heart of the great emperor inside? The third elder stepped forward and caught one person and asked hurriedly. Monster Emperor heart, that's something that everyone covets. If it weren't for the limitation of cultivation level, which prevented them from entering the monster tower, they would have fought for the great emperor's heart long ago. No, we reached the 9th floor of the monster tower, but we didn't see even a single hair of the golden stone gate, let alone the golden stone gate. The monster race prodigy shook his head and sighed. He was not a native monster race of Nanling. He came all the way from other places, but in the end, he was happy for nothing. How is it possible? The shaking of the monster tower and the spread of the emperor's power before, all signs indicate that the heart has been activated. Why did even the stone gate disappear? The second elder's forehead was locked in a Chuan shape, talking to himself. The previous battle between Wong Tang and the young Emperor Huang caused the monster tower to vibrate. They all mistakenly believed that the great emperor's heart was activated. Could it be? What happened suddenly here? The shaking of the monster tower and the spread of the emperor's power are actually the heart sealing itself up. So the golden stone gate disappeared. Quote. The demon blood elder touched his beard and guessed. Just now he secretly opened his spiritual sense. He checked everyone, but did not find any breath of the great emperor's heart. Therefore, he frowned and said such a guess. Luckily, the Azure Emperor put a seal on the heart, and Su Ruyu himself had the blood of the Azure Lotus clan to cover it. So the demon blood elder did not notice it at all. Just then, in the distance, a fiery red sun, like the beginning of chaos, hung above the sky. And in the center of the red sun, a screaming three-legged golden crow, flapping its flaming wings, flew towards the direction of the monster tower at a high speed. Wong Tang, kid, you killed my great-grandson, don't even think about leaving today, and bury my great-grandson. The three-legged golden crow spoke angrily. He is the ancestor of the Golden Crow clan. Originally staying in Monster Alliance, he was still fantasizing about the scene of the Golden Crow Emperor's son obtaining the heart of the great emperor. But he never thought, after being eliminated, Li Feiyu, bringing the barbarian tiger emperor's son, he came to tell him the bad news. Then he rushed out regardless of everything. Old Jinwu, calm down. The duel between the princes of your tribe is a normal death. All the young generations of monster race have seen it, so don't act on impulse. The great elder of demon blood leapt into the air and blocked the attacking Jinwu patriarch. But Jinwu patriarch lost his mind. His most beloved great-grandson died. How could he bear it? Demon blood, you are also a member of our monster race. Why do you favor this human race kid? Get out of the way, or I won't be polite. Jinwu Patriarch said angrily. The samadhi true fire in his mouth was ready to go. And behind him, thousands of Jinwu slowly rose into the air, illuminating the world, and the temperature of this area suddenly increased. It seems that they came prepared. In order to avoid accidents in revenge, all of his people were brought here. Not only that, even the ancestors of the barbarian tiger tribe brought their people and quickly approached from the forest in the east. There are also other monster races who have a close relationship with the Jinwu clan. They rushed over together. No, things are out of control. This old Jinwu is determined. 6 quasi-emperors have come from all directions. I wonder if there are any hidden ones. If something happens to Wong Tang, we will be finished as well. The great elder of Demon School frowned and whispered. If something happens to Wong Tang, not only will the Wong family attack with all their strength, but the oath they made to heaven and earth. They will also be killed in an instant. If they stop them, the old Jinwu and others will spread rumors and say that they stabbed the monster race in the back. That would be a dilemma. This time, it's really shooting itself in the foot. At this moment, Wong Tang below seemed to see the dilemma of the great elder of demon blood. Great elder of demon blood, don't worry. Just relying on these old fools, they can't kill me, Wong Tang. As soon as the voice fell, he slowly took out a jade slip from his arms. Crack, it broke into pieces with a light squeeze. The space in front of him was instantly torn apart, forming a void passage leading to the outside of Nanling. The next moment, the 5 ancestors of the Wong family walked out of the void slowly and calmly. That disdainful look, he swept over the monster race quasi-emperors around him one by one. The first ancestor was even more ruthless and didn't say much. He directly sacrificed the extreme Dao Emperor weapon. He pointed at the ancestor of the Golden Crow and said, "It's really a group of furry things. You are not strong all day long, and you just want to bully the weak and kill the younger generation. Well, today, you, the old Golden Crow, don't think about leaving alive." Chapter 71. The first ancestor's eyes were sharp. Buzz. The Emperor killing spear in his hand flashed instantly, and a terrifying imperial power burst out. The breath of the ancient great emperor was completely revived. Look at this. He was determined to kill the old Jinwu. How shameless. Extreme Dao Emperor weapon. Not only you have it, my Jinwu clan also has emperor weapon. Seeing this, the Jinwu ancestor was like a great enemy, and sacrificed his own extreme Dao Emperor weapon to hang above his head. It was an ancient bell. It was as bright as gold, engraved with countless runes, and kept burning in the flames. Golden God Bell. This was the extreme Dao Emperor weapon of the Jinwu clan. There was a terrifying flame attached to it. But unlike the flame in the Zhang family's Hengyu furnace, this emperor weapon burned samadhi true fire. It was nurtured for many years with emperor weapon. It was integrated with the great emperor's imperial law, which was enough to burn and destroy everything in the world. Old Jinwu, you have some skills. It seems that you are well prepared this time, and you even brought the extreme Dao Emperor weapon. The first ancestor snorted coldly, without any fear. The next moment, he wielded the emperor killing spear in his hand, urged his own quasi-emperor cultivation, and fought with the Jinwu ancestor. The surging air wave, it directly shook the surrounding space. All elders, let's attack together and shock the others first. The demon blood elder looked around and said. The Jinwu ancestor who took the lead was restrained. The rest of the monster race allies did not dare to move, and most of them came to take advantage of the fire. They wanted to take the monster emperor's heart for themselves. They didn't really come to help. Form a formation. Accompanied by a loud shout, the lightning-fast spells were pinched out from the hands of 10 people. Following, under the leadership of the demon blood elder, the monster chi that covered the sky and the sun covered the entire sky. 10 people joined forces instantly. Each stood in the corresponding position. Although there was no extreme Dao Emperor weapon, the power that burst out at the same time should not be underestimated. Boom! A shocking formation suddenly appeared, and then continued to spread out from their side. The great formation of punishing monsters. It's over, the 10 elders are serious, let's leave quickly. Some monster race ancestors were shocked and realized the shocking formation of the 10 elders. This is the unique formation of Monster Alliance. The formation specially used to punish monster race is generally not used unless it is absolutely necessary. All the people of my Nanling monster race. If you don't want to be punished by this formation, leave. Monster Alliance will not hold you responsible in the future. Otherwise, you will be regarded as traitors to Monster Alliance. The great elder of demon blood raised his voice and said loudly. He is also a member of monster race. Using this punishment formation to deal with the same race is a last resort. And seeing the appearance of this formation, plus the final warning from the demon blood elder, all the local monster races in the surrounding Nanling Mountains, without exception, all left here under pretexts. Even the barbarian tiger clan did the same. Old Jinwu, I'm leaving first. My barbarian tiger clan will not get involved in this muddy water. Goodbye. The barbarian tiger patriarch turned around and shouted. After all, the emperor of their clan was not dead, but only suffered a lot of injuries. They didn't have to fall into this quagmire. Don't leave. Didn't you guys agree before? Help me kill Wong Tang, and you can distribute the monster emperor's heart among yourselves. Golden Crow patriarch panicked for a moment and told the secret. Unfortunately, the moment the demon punishment formation appeared, they gave up the idea of seizing the monster emperor's heart. After a while, except for the members of the Golden Crow clan, all the monster races that came together fled. Only the Golden Crow patriarch was left struggling. Moxu, don't hesitate. This old Golden Crow is the pest of your Nanling monster race. Why don't you quickly lock him up with the formation? Could it be that you are not afraid of the heaven and earth oath? The second ancestor hurried forward and said. He saw the hesitation of several people and deliberately went up to add a raging fire. Heaven and earth oath. Yes, this is something they can't resist. Although the 10 people wanted to save the Golden Crow patriarch, it is impossible in this situation now. What's more, there is still danger on him. Upon hearing these 4 words, the great elder of the School of Demonology no longer hesitated, gritted his teeth and hardened his heart. He urged the constructed formation. Instantly locked onto the Golden Crow patriarch who was still fighting. Old Golden Crow, we advised you before, but you didn't listen, so don't blame us for attacking you. Boom! A strange colored beam of light shot out from the center of the formation and hit the Golden Crow patriarch in the blink of an eye. At the moment of hitting, his 3-legged Golden Crow body trembled as if it was struck by electricity. Ah, ah, ah. Moxu, you actually helped outsiders to deal with me. We are all monster race. The Golden Crow patriarch howled in pain. This demon punishment formation is specifically aimed at their monster race. Not only can it imprison their bodies and make them unable to move, but it can also directly cause tearing damage from the body. Even the soul will be fatally attacked. If it weren't for the Emperor weapon protecting the Golden Crow patriarch, the attack of the 10 ancestors of the Monster Alliance would have killed him instantly. After all, it was a joint attack of 10 quasi-emperors. Who could easily resist it? Ha 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 ha. Well done, Moxu. Today, let me help you Nanling monster race to get rid of this guy who doesn't obey orders. The first ancestor laughed with his hair dancing wildly. With the help of 10 Monster Alliance elders, the Golden Crow patriarch was already a fish on the chopping board. He was at the mercy of others. Go to hell. With a loud shout, the materialized killing intent continued to emanate from the first ancestor's body. The next moment, the Emperor killing spear in his hand became brighter and brighter, shining with a blazing glow. The most terrifying power of the Emperor weapon was activated. Swoosh, the sound of breaking through the air resounded. The blood-red Emperor killing spear, thrown by the first ancestor, shot at the immobile Golden Crow ancestor at high speed. Swish, there was no surprise. The spear hit the Golden Crow ancestor, and pierced his head directly. He was annihilated on the spot. The ancestor is dead. Everyone, run away, the ancestor has been killed. Seeing this scene, thousands of Golden Crow people fled in panic. And the first ancestor did not kill them. After all, this is the territory of monster race, and the 10 great ancestors can help them to wipe out their own people, which is already the most benevolent thing. If they kill them all again, then they will definitely stop them. Thank you for your help, fellow Taoist demon blood. I'll leave the body of the old Golden Crow and the extreme Tao Emperor weapon to you. The first ancestor bowed his hands and thanked him sincerely. Although the extreme Dao Emperor weapon did not fly away, the 10 elders in charge were here. Don't be too greedy. Ah, fellow Taoist Wong, I'm sorry to make you laugh. My monster alliance still can't fully control the huge Nanling. It almost caused a disaster. The great elder demon blood sighed and said. In the end, they still can't use their prestige to intimidate the monsters in Nanling. Some troublemakers still don't listen to discipline. Acting on impulse. If it weren't for their own strong cultivation, a shocking war would probably break out today. Since the matter has been resolved, then, fellow Taoist demon blood, I'll trouble you to clean up the mess. We'll take our leave first. The first ancestor put away the extreme Dao Emperor weapon and said to the few people staying any longer, there is not much use. It is better to leave now. Besides, Nanling is the territory of monster race, which is still a big threat to them. Nodded. The great elder of demon blood personally escorted them away, and the other 9 elders collected the body of the old golden crow, including the emperor weapon standing in the void. They packed them together and sent them back to the Golden Crow clan. As the boss of Monster Alliance, they could not take the extreme Dao Emperor weapon for themselves in public. They could only return it to the chief of the Golden Crow clan. Emperor Wong Tang, thank you for this trip to the Monster Tower. Next, I will return to the clan to concentrate on cultivation. If you need help in the future, I and the Azure Lotus clan will come to help you no matter where you are. Su Ruyu patted his shoulder and smiled. This meaningful smile. It is hard to understand. But what is certain is that as long as Wong Tang is in danger, she will help even if they are thousands of miles apart. Daughter Su, excuse me. We are all friends who share weal and woe, and I have also obtained the corresponding divine treasure, so there is no need to say more. I hope that when we meet next time, you will have already ruled the entire Nanling. Wong Tang returned the greeting and said. They all knew the secrets of the heavenly demon outside the domain, and they should carry the will of the 2 ancestors. Continuously practice. Protect the myriad worlds with absolute strength. Then, under the escort of the great elder of demon blood, everyone left the scope of Nanling peacefully. And the monster races from various places that had come originally. They had almost left, in the waiting area outside Nanling, except for the Wong family's guardian team. No one could be seen. At the same time, when Wong Tang and his group left Nanling, a void sound transmission talisman crossed the long distance and was transmitted to Wong Tang. A message from Yaoqi Sacred Land. Wong Tang glanced at it and said to himself. Not only were there 6 words written by the Yaoqi Sacred Lord himself, but they were also engraved with unique gold patterns. It was obviously something extremely important. Master, could it be about the mistress? Open it quickly. If someone takes advantage of our visit to Nanling to covet the extreme Dao Emperor weapon, we'll be in trouble. Under his crotch, Su Annie raised his head and guessed. What he said made sense. Otherwise, why would the Yaoqi Sacred Lord send a message? As soon as he opened the letter, the content written inside made Wong Tang frown and his expression began to panic. Set off immediately and go to Yaoqi Sacred Land. Wong Tang put away the letter and said to everyone. Although he did not say what happened, his panic expression explained everything. This is a big event from Yaoqi Sacred Land. It is indeed about Yan Ruyu. However, it is not that the Emperor weapon was robbed by other forces, but that something happened to the fetus in her belly. As a result, Yan Ruyu fell into a coma. Even her own life breath and the origin of the innate Dao body were decreasing at an extremely exaggerated speed. At the same time, Yaoqi Sacred Land, in the boudoir. Ancestor, what happened to Sister Yan? Why did it become like this? Zhang Ziyu sat on the bed, holding her unconscious hand, and asked anxiously. Next to him, the first ancestor of the Zhang family frowned and looked at Yan Ruyu seriously, and it was difficult to speak for a while. As for Yan Ruyu's symptoms, he had guessed a little, but he still had to wait until Wong Tang arrived. And the Holy Lord of Yaoqi was also worried. At this time, with a loud rumble, above the void, a torn passage exploded under the terrifying imperial power. The next moment, the first ancestor urged the emperor killing spear. He walked out first. Wong Tang and others followed behind. As soon as he came out of the void passage, Wong Tang rushed straight to Yaoqi Sacred Land. Yan Ruyu's coma made him confused. Sister Zhang, you are here too. What happened to you? What happened? Entering the boudoir, Wong Tang was a little surprised that several people were here, but he was still anxious to ask Yan Ruyu about her situation. It was obvious, regarding Wong Tang's previous move of proposing marriage with the Emperor weapon. Zhang Ziyu had long since eliminated the anger in her heart, so she came to Yaoqi Sacred Land to talk to Yan Ruyu. After a conversation, she and Yan Ruyu talked completely together. They became good sisters, but then when the two were walking, Yan Ruyu's belly suddenly flashed a golden light. Then she instantly fell into a coma. Great-grandson-in-law. Based on my experience, this is most likely a backlash caused by the fetus in the belly. The first ancestor of the Zhang family looked at Wong Tang and said, "Backlash? What's going on? Could it be that the child in the belly is an evil seed?" As if seeing Wong Tang's surprise, the first ancestor shook his head and explained, "This backlash is not that backlash. You are a desolate ancient saint body, she is an innate Tao body, then the fetus in the belly is born to be an innate Tao body holy fetus. But this physique is too against the sky, and the great Tao of its own law cannot be perfected, and it can only replenish itself by absorbing the mother's body. So her cultivation and the origin of the innate Tao body will disappear so quickly, and she suddenly fell into a coma." Hearing this, Wong Tang instantly understood. After all this time, it's his child talent is too outstanding. Is there any way to solve it? Can we just wait? Wong Tang frowned and asked. Even for a talent like himself, his lifespan was only extended by 500 years when he was born. And the energy required can be supplemented by natural treasures. But his child absorbs the essence right away. It's too exaggerated. Even if he has countless natural treasures, it won't work. The two are not of the same order of magnitude. There is a way. I can cast a seal to temporarily seal her up to prevent the fetus from continuing to absorb the origin. However, to break this dilemma, a divine medicine that can seize the fortune of heaven and earth is needed." The Zhang family ancestor looked embarrassed and said slowly, "The seal is no problem. However, it seems that it is quite difficult to obtain this so-called divine medicine." "Old man Zhang, is this divine medicine you are talking about the Butn fruit?" the first ancestor said with his eyes wide open. While thinking just now, he remembered a rumor. In the past, there was a great accomplishment desolate ancient saint body who traveled all over the myriad worlds in his later years, looking for this divine medicine called the Butn fruit. It is said that it was to save his partner. Now it seems that the partner of the desolate ancient saint body is very likely to be an innate Tao body. And she is pregnant. That's why he looked for the Butn fruit for treatment. Yes, it is the Butn fruit. This Butn fruit is known as the most apex level divine medicine. It can save even a breath on the verge of death. The key is the innate Tao principle contained in it, which can automatically repair the essence of the user. It is the only item that can save Ruyu. The first ancestor of the Zhang family nodded and explained. Although there is a solution, but it is indeed difficult to obtain it. Because this Butn fruit grows on the Butn tree. It blooms once every 10,000 years and bears fruit once every 10,000 years. Each time, there is only one fruit. It is extremely precious. And the Butn tree is located in the Butnli Saint Academy in Zhongzhou. It is the sacred tree of the academy. Don't even mention seeking the Butn fruit. Even if you want a branch of the Butn tree, I am afraid you will be rejected by Iron Blood. And Butnli Saint Academy. It is said to have trained great emperors. Not only do its students spread all over the place, but it is also the top force in Zhongzhou. The quasi-emperor inside, no less than the Zhang family and the Wang family. It is absolutely unrealistic to seize it by force. If you want to get this Butn fruit, I have a way, you can try it, but it may be a little immoral. Saint Emperor thought for a while and said, "Immoral? Monkey, are you? Want me to sneak into this Butn Saint Academy and find an opportunity to steal?" Wong Tang narrowed his eyes and sighed. In addition to stealing, he really couldn't think of any good way for Saint Emperor. After all, monkeys steal peaches. That is Saint Emperor's specialty. Hee. This Butn Saint Academy recruits students every year. As long as you have extraordinary talents, you can enter to study. It is said that the prodigy of Zhongzhou, the Zhongwang, is practicing in it. With our talent strength, it's a piece of cake to get in. Then find an opportunity to steal the Butn fruit. Saint Emperor scratched his cheek and smiled. Although it is indeed a little immoral. But for the safety of Yan Ruyu and the fetus, he could only sneak in and see the situation. Let's do it. After the seal is completed, we will set off immediately. Wong Tang nodded and agreed. Then, the ancestor of the Zhang family waved his hand, and the quasi-emperor's cultivation was fully released, and the Hengyu oven was sacrificed. Open. With a loud shout, the hot fire poured out. The flames that were powerful enough to burn the sky and boil the sea did not burn up after they touched Yan Ruyu's body. Instead, they formed streaks of flames and poured into her body from the meridians. Gradually, the fire ran around in her body and sank into her abdomen like it was flowing into the sea. Then it turned into a red flame shield, which wrapped around the fetus. It also sealed the fetus' umbilical cord, preventing it from absorbing the mother's essence temporarily. Senior Zhang, is this okay? Seeing this, Yao Kai Saint Lord couldn't help but step forward and asked carefully. Well, it's okay. Next, to be on the safe side, you have to stimulate Emperor Weapon every day to nourish her body. Emperor Weapon has recognized her as its master and can slowly replenish itself with the help of spirit chi from the outside world. This will make the seal more stable. The first ancestor of the Zhang family nodded, looked at the Yao Kai Saint Lord who was approaching, and ordered. But the seal is still limited in time. It can only last for 10 years at most. If the Butn fruit cannot be found in time, once the seal is lifted, even if the great emperor comes here in person, it will be powerless to save the situation. Since there is nothing serious now, then, monkey, let's set off quickly so that we can reach Zhongzhou earlier. Wong Tang breathed a sigh of relief and said to the Saint Emperor. Next, they have to sneak into the Butnli Saint courtyard. But at this moment, Zhang Ziyu, who was sitting on the bed, stood up and said, "Little rascal, I will go with you. Sister Yan and I are already sisters. Her business is my business. I have to help too." Good guy. I thought the two women would quarrel. Unexpectedly, it became a harmonious situation. Nodded. Wong Tang agreed to let Zhang Ziyu go together, but the extreme Dao Emperor weapon on her must be temporarily placed in the Zhang family. Otherwise, such a magical weapon will definitely attract widespread attention, which will not be conducive to their stealing the Butn fruit in the Butnli Saint courtyard. At the same time, Zhongzhou, Bu Heavenly Saint Academy. Dean, the enrollment day will come in a few days. Will this year's assessment be the same as in previous years? A powerful middle-aged man was respectfully asking the gray-haired old man next to him. This old man is the dean of Bu Heavenly Saint Academy. Bu Tianzi. His cultivation is unfathomable, and he has already reached the top quasi-emperor level. And behind the old man, a towering tree that towers into the sky stands upright there, green and drooping. Its branches sway, endless spirit chi factors, and tiny great Dao fragments. Released. Let those who bathe in it be able to use it to improve the spiritual rhyme Dao that they lack. And this giant tree is the sacred tree of Bu Heavenly Saint Academy. Butn tree. Well, let's keep it as it is. Now that the great era has come, our Heavenly Saint Academy must recruit more talented students. If one person can become a great emperor in this life, our Heavenly Saint Academy will once again recreate its former glory. The emperor looked into the distance and nodded. To be honest, they are angel investors. On the one hand, they recruit students and cultivate a wide range of social forces, and on the other hand, they invest in students to get returns. No matter how you look at it, it's not a loss. A few days later, at the gate of the Heavenly Saint Academy, countless Zhongzhou prodigy and the young generation from other places all arrived here on time. There were huge crowds of people. There were no less than tens of thousands of people. Of course, not everyone can enter, and they have to pass the corresponding tests. And in a corner of the crowd, Wong Tang and the other two arrived at the gate of the Heavenly Saint Academy one step earlier after being teleported through the void channel. Little rascal, look, why are there so many people here? I don't know how long we have to wait when we go to take the test. Zhang Ziyu pouted and complained. Originally, they were the first to come here, but they never thought that the Heavenly Saint Academy would not follow the routine. They had to wait for a few days until the people gathered. Then they started the selection. And the selection was randomly drawn, and it would take them a long time to be drawn. What a pity. This Butn Lee Saint courtyard doesn't look at birth and background. Otherwise, with our identities, maybe someone would invite us in now. Saint Emperor shook his head and sighed. He was one of the 7 forbidden areas of life, the direct bloodline of the Dozan Saint Emperor. He had fallen to the point of queuing. If it wasn't for sneaking in to steal the Butn fruit, he would have been impatient and couldn't wait any longer. Do you think it's too long to wait? There's a shortcut over there. If you have the courage, you can go over and try it. At this time, a young man from a noble family next to him said to the 3 people with his hands in his pockets. Shortcut. The 3 people who heard these 2 words immediately became interested. Then, they turned their heads and looked in the direction pointed by the young man from the noble family. On one side of the gate of Butn Lee Saint courtyard, there was a plain stone staircase with a total of 99 steps, leading directly to Butn Lee Saint courtyard. Is this stone staircase a shortcut? Why don't you go there, but gather here and wait? Wong Tang thought for a moment and couldn't help asking. Because there was no one to be seen at the beginning of the stone staircase. There must be something else. This is the ladder to heaven. The test for the special admission to the Heavenly Saint Academy is divided into 9 levels, each with 10 steps, and the pressure will increase exponentially. If you don't have enough talent and will, you can't get up at all, but once you get up, you can directly become an inner disciple. By the way, you don't even know this, and you still come to the Heavenly Saint Academy. A divine child from a Zhongzhou sect spoke faintly. The disdainful eyes looked at them unscrupulously, as if they were looking at 3 country bumpkins. Climbing the ladder to heaven. This seems to be a shortcut. For tens of thousands of years, only Prodigy, known as the Central Emperor, has climbed up using this method. And it's not as easy as imagined. I see. Come on, monkey, let's try this ladder and see if it's really that difficult to climb. Wong Tang grinned and called. He didn't want to wait any longer. There was such a shortcut, why not try it? And hearing Wong Tang's words, Saint Emperor and Zhang Ziyu nodded expectantly. Then, they followed Wong Tang, walked to the place where they were waiting for the ladder. Watching the 3 people leave, the Prodigy waiting around, without exception, all seemed to have seen an incredible scene. Staring blankly at their backs. What, they 3 don't really want to climb the ladder? I thought they were asking for fun. Someone opened his mouth wide in shock. You know, this ladder is quite dangerous. The pressure of each layer is increased. If you can't bear it, you may be seriously injured. Or even die on the spot and turn into blood mist. If you don't have a body that can look down on pure-blooded beasts, the end is extremely tragic. When Wong Tang and the other 2 walked towards the ladder, in the gate of the Heavenly Saint Court, several elders who were responsible for maintaining order noticed the movements of the 3 of them. What do these 3 want to do? Are they really going to climb the ladder? With their venerable realm cultivation, they definitely can't go up. A brown-haired elder glanced at them slightly, shook his head and sighed. Because Wong Tang and the other 2, with the special supreme level physique, they concealed all their own aura. As a result, this elder couldn't detect it. Therefore, just think that Wong Tang and the other 3 have outstanding cultivation. Want to rely on their strong cultivation to climb the ladder and become inner disciples directly. After all, the strength of the venerable realm 9th layer. Among the many prodigy who were undergoing the trial, only the 3 of them were at this level. These students, they have no rivals in the clan, and they don't know how vast the world outside is. It's good to let them suffer a little. Otherwise, do you really think that anyone can enter my Heavenly Saint Academy? Another elder looked down on him and snorted coldly. In his opinion, Wong Tang and the others were just some children of a large clan. They only had that extremely arrogant attitude, but they didn't have the absolute strength to match Prodigy. But the next second, several elders were slapped in the face. I saw Wong Tang and the other 2 came to the first level of the ladder, and after a brief look, they stepped on it with their left feet at the same time. Monkey, Sister Zhang, are you all ready? Wong Tang glanced at the 2 and smiled. Ready. The 2 nodded at the same time, accumulating strength in their waists, and prepared for the catapult sprint. The next moment, as Wong Tang shouted the word, departure, the 3 of them activated their supreme level physiques. Then they exerted force in their legs instantly. Like a cannonball, they flew out at high speed. Step, 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 step after step. The three of them walked on the ladder as if it were flat ground, without any hindrance at all. Let the terrifying pressure fall. It still didn't work on them, but instead increased their speed by several levels. In less than a minute, they stepped over the rank 19 ladder. They reached the top. These three people cheated. Why didn't the pressure of the ladder work on them? Could it be, this ladder is broken? Several elders said at the same time. They had never seen this horrifying scene. The key is, Wong Tang and the other two didn't even breathe during the whole process, and they ran up without even stopping. That's right, they ran up. The whole process. Summarize it in 4 words. Sing, dance, run, sprint. As if playing and joking, they reached the top floor without any resistance. Cheating, they cheated. Even the Emperor Zhang had to work very hard to climb the ladder, but the three of them did it so easily. One thing is that they used something to cheat. A young prodigy pointed at Wong Tang and the others and criticized them. In addition to cheating, they couldn't think of anything to describe their invincibility. What's worse, they directly suspected that there was something wrong with the road to heaven. They must have seen through some rules. Look at the posture just now, and the instantaneous running. It is very likely to be the key to trigger the reduction of pressure. The smart prodigy speculated and muttered to himself. Then, he ignored everyone's eyes and walked straight to the bottom of the road to heaven. Adjust your posture. Do the same as Wong Tang and the other two before. Then count 3 seconds silently. Swoosh and rush out. But when he took the first step, the terrifying pressure was released from the steps. Straight vertical pressure. The prodigy's legs were pressed into a rectangle. Ah, ah, ah. My legs, how can there be pressure? Didn't I do the same as them? Sharp screams, one after another, reached everyone's ears. Now, they realized with horror that Wong Tang and the other two were most likely to have relied on their strength to get to the top. Do these people have no brains? They actually thought we got to the top by cheating. It seems that the local prodigy in Zhongzhou are not that smart. They are all as stupid as pigs. At the top of the stairs, the Saint Emperor looked down at these people and laughed playfully. It was obvious. These people couldn't accept it. Someone with more outstanding talent than them appeared. Just then, dong, a deafening bell sounded from the center of the Heavenly Saint courtyard. The next moment, an old man in a blue brocade robe and with gray hair stepped in with a breeze. Dean, the elders who selected students turned around and looked at the old man, bowed their heads and said. Nodding, Bu Tianzi glanced at Wong Tang and the other two and said, one has the body of Taiyan, one fights the holy ape, and another. Indeed, they are good seedlings. Since they have passed the ladder to heaven, they can directly enter the inner gate. In his eyes, the concealment of Wong Tang and the others' auras was completely exposed and was seen through. Fortunately, Wong Tang's identity was not directly exposed. Otherwise, the news that Dong Shen stepped on the ladder to heaven and entered the Bu Heavenly Saint Academy. I am afraid it will cause a huge sensation in Zhongzhou. Dean, this man is the son of the Wong family. He has never been at peace wherever he goes. Let's recruit him into the Bu Heavenly Saint Academy. Isn't it a bit inappropriate? Beside him, the vice dean quickly came up, frowned and whispered. He has heard about Wong Tang's deeds. After all, he has caused trouble in many places. Basically, wherever he went, he would indirectly take the lives of some powerful people. The vice president was worried. You think too much. Could it be that you didn't realize that they came by themselves? Even the protector and his own ancestors didn't come. Most likely he wanted to study in our holy academy, and he is a strong competitor for the great emperor. We can't miss this opportunity. Bu Tianzi stroked his beard and grinned. Angel investor's idea gradually took root in his mind. Good fellow, they are going to steal your Bu Tian fruit. As a result, the old guy Bu Tianzi is still here to comfort himself, and he didn't guess this at all. Dean, good idea. If this Wong Tang proves the great emperor, then the status of our Bu Heavenly Saint Academy will be raised to another level. On the contrary, it's not a loss to let him come in to study. Anyway, we don't have any trouble. After being reminded, the vice dean seemed to understand and smiled like an old fox. Next, Bu Tianzi's spiritual sense moved, condensed a sound transmission, and merged into the ears of each elder. Not only did he directly inform Wong Tang of his identity, but also asked them to facilitate him. This is a big deal. After all, many elders have a special relationship with the prodigy in the inner courtyard, and they will definitely inform Wong Tang of the news of entering the Bu Heavenly Saint Academy. At the same time, in the inner courtyard, in a cave mansion somewhere. Shang Tianfei. Today, 3 people have passed the ladder and were directly introduced to the inner courtyard by the dean. The vice dean appeared in the cave mansion and said slowly. In front of him, a young man with dark golden hair was sitting cross-legged, and there were runes above his eyes. This person was the top prodigy in Zhongzhou. His name was Shang Tianfei. He was called Zhongwang. So what? It's just passing the ladder. Although I am the only one who has passed it in these years, it doesn't matter if there are a few more rare people. Shang Tianfei still closed his eyes and talked. But then, the vice dean waved his hand directly. The shadow of Wong Tang and the other 2 running up the ladder was directly projected in front of Shang Tianfei. At first, he didn't care, he just opened his eyelids slightly. But the exaggerated picture that flashed by immediately made him open his tightly closed eyes. Impossible, I've been there, and the pressure of the heavenly staircase has increased exponentially. Why are the 3 of them acting like nothing happened? Shang Tianfei was shocked and stood up from the ground. This is no longer a matter of worrying about the heavens. It's simply cheating. Nothing is impossible. Shang Tianfei, there are always people who are better than you. As you said, there are still rare people. Did you see the fastest runner? He is the son of the Eastern Wilderness Wong family, Wong Tang. The vice president pointed at the projection and said, Wong Tang, he is the Eastern god Wong Tang. No wonder. Just based on this projection of the heavenly staircase, the rumors from the outside world are true. The demon with 3 major physiques in one body is really powerful. Shang Tianfei narrowed his eyes, and a strong fighting spirit rose from his body. During the time of practicing in the Heavenly Saint Academy, the most news he heard was about Wong Tang, and he was praised as a candidate for the great emperor every time. I have long wanted to compete with him. Now Wong Tang has entered the Heavenly Saint Academy and directly entered the inner courtyard by climbing the ladder. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I want to compete with him. As long as Wong Tang is defeated, my name, Shang Tianfei, will undoubtedly be more famous in the myriad worlds. Shang Tianfei pondered for a moment and said firmly. The vice president did not stop him. Instead, his face was full of interest as he watched Shang Tianfei rush out of the cave mansion where he was practicing. Fight, fight. The battle between the 2 apex geniuses will definitely attract the attention of Bu Tianzi. By then, the Bu Tian tree will be empty, which will just destroy the formation. As long as it causes casualties among students and losses to the Holy Academy, I don't think you, Bu Tianzi, will resign as the dean. The vice president smiled evilly and said with a flick of his tongue. So, as the vice president, Gong Ke has reached a secret cooperation with the first evil cult in Zhongzhou, the evil spirit cult. As long as he secretly helps him to bring down Bu Tianzi, then he will give the Bu Tian fruit to the leader of the evil spirit cult as a thank you reward. At the same time, after Shang Tianfei rushed out of the cave mansion, he came to the location of Wong Tang and the other 2 at lightning speed. They had not yet chosen the cave mansion, so they waited in the empty square, and were spotted by Shang Tianfei. Wong Tang, stop, I want to challenge you. A light shout came like a huge wave. Hearing this, Wong Tang raised his head and looked at Shang Tianfei who was standing on the sky. The latter stopped in the void. The great Tao gathered into a Qilin pattern around him, constantly appearing under his feet. Who are you? Why do you know my identity? Wong Tang narrowed his eyes and said. From the moves of this man with the Qilin step, it can be seen that this man is not an ordinary person. I am the Central Emperor, Shang Tianfei. Wong Tang, stop talking nonsense, today I will definitely compete with you, the East God. Come, see you on the battle stage. Shang Tianfei snorted coldly, pointed to the duel place not far away, and said to Wong Tang. As soon as the voice fell, his figure flashed instantly, and in the blink of an eye, he stepped onto the battle arena. Zhongwang, brother, this is a good opportunity, as long as you defeat him in public today. Then you will be the #1 prodigy in the 5 major regions, and the others will be defeated by you. Saint Emperor slapped his thigh and said happily. After the Nanling line, Su Ruyu, known as the Southern Demon, has already stood in the same ally position with them. As for the other 3 major regions, only Zhongwang has not been defeated personally. But once he is defeated, then Wong Tang will completely surpass all the prodigy in the 5 major regions. Little rascal, this guy's tone is very arrogant, and I don't feel comfortable listening to it. It's better to teach him a lesson. It won't take long anyway. Zhang Ziyu persuaded on the side. Such a great opportunity, how can we miss it? Okay then. It only takes a few moves to defeat him. Wait for me here for a moment. I'll be back soon. Wong Tang nodded and said. The next moment, as the yin and yang energies transformed, he glowed with golden light and turned into a flying kunpeng. He gently vibrated his wings. He stepped onto the battle stage. Wong Tang, you are really courageous. Whoever wins this battle today will be the strongest young generation in the 5 regions. Shang Tianfei grinned and said expectantly. Then, he stamped his legs hard on the ground, and the Qilin pattern appeared on his soles again. Qilin step. Shang Tianfei spoke the truth. His steps were as fast as lightning, like the ghostly afterimage, opening and closing. Almost in an instant, he moved behind Wong Tang. What a fast speed, even my ancient dual pupils can't see clearly. Wong Tang frowned, feeling a sense of crisis. This divine ability with extreme speed. Only Kunpeng treasure technique can match it, and there is no need to transform into a Qilin form. You can fight with all your strength at any time. Boom! Shang Tianfei did not hold back at all. The rules in his palm took shape in disorder, gradually turning into a terrifying flying bird phantom, attacking Wong Tang. Die! In an instant, Wong Tang noticed it. After turning his head quickly, he swung a punch across the air with the pure power of his flesh. Bang! The palm and fist touched. They did not show a situation of equal strength. Instead, there was a distinction between the upper and lower winds. Although Shang Tianfei's steps were fast and his attacks had no flaws. But facing Wong Tang's supernatural body, Shang Tianfei was still powerless and was directly knocked to the edge of the ring by a punch. If it weren't just Wong Tang's subconscious counterattack, I'm afraid that Shang Tianfei would be blown out of the fighting ring with a full-strength punch. Desolate ancient saint body, it's really terrifying. It seems that if I don't show some of my special skills, I can't beat this guy. Shang Tianfei muttered to himself. If I don't use my full strength, I will be defeated by Wong Tang if I'm not careful. The next moment, Shang Tianfei's momentum instantly increased several times. The whole body burst out with colorful dazzling rays of light, releasing his Vajra glass body. Vajra glass body, one of the special physiques of the myriad worlds. Invulnerable to all methods, golden Vajra untouched by evil, practiced to the great accomplishment realm, can withstand the full force of Emperor weapon without injury. Vajra fist, Shang Tianfei shouted, and the fist clenched into an arm instantly turned into colorful glass. Contains terrifying law patterns. Fist, you are not the only one who has it. Wong Tang snorted coldly, and the 6 paths of reincarnation fist was immediately performed. After the 6 reincarnation black holes merged into his fist, an invincible and amazing momentum rose up in an instant. Bang! The 2 fists collided, sparks flew. The broken laws ran around wantonly, shaking the battle arena. Do you think Shang Tianfei can win? Wong Tang didn't seem to use his full strength. Just one desolate ancient saint body suppressed him. He hasn't used the other 2 physiques yet. Can Shang Tianfei resist? In the square, some inner court disciples watched the battle inside. The emperor is the face of their holy court. If he is defeated by Wong Tang, then the younger generation of Zhongzhou will lose to him. Let's be open-minded. Now that Wong Tang has joined our heavenly saint court, he is also one of us. In fact, it doesn't matter who wins. An elder took the opportunity to speak and comforted him. That's true. If someone as strong as Wong Tang has joined the heavenly saint court, his status must be raised to another level. The fight between the 2 also attracted a lot of elders and the special attention of the dean, Bu Tianzi. They even temporarily stopped recruiting students. They came to the void and watched the shocking fight between the 2 on the battle stage. At the same time, in the east of Bu Tian's sacred land, there was an open space. Vice Dean Gong Ke came here quietly. After checking that there was no one around, he took out a Breaking the Sky talisman from his arms. Breaking the Sky talisman. As the name suggests, it can break the void. He used this Breaking the Sky talisman to let in the people of the evil spirit cult who had been waiting outside for a long time. Sure enough, Kaka, accompanied by the shattering of the Breaking the Sky talisman, a black hole-like void passage suddenly appeared in front of him. The next moment, several powerful figures walked out of it, all dressed in black robes without exception. The aura they exuded, except for the leader who was a quasi-emperor, the rest were all great saint-level fighters. If it is used to wipe out a second-rate force, it will be easy. Deputy Dean Gong K, have you found out the location of Bu Tianzi? The leading black-robed man asked directly. He is one of the 2 guardians of the evil spirit cult. He is also the strongest right guardian, second only to the leader of the evil spirit cult. He is watching the battle from the periphery. Don't worry, when he rushes over quickly, you will have escaped. Gong K smiled evilly and said, with these people destroying the central area, Bu Tianzi will definitely be held responsible first. Once successful, he will ascend to the throne of the Dean. The scene changed. Near the square, on the fighting arena. Bang! A loud noise. The next moment, the Zhongwang Xiangtian on the arena was easily repelled to the edge by Wong Tang's 6 paths of reincarnation fist. The difference in strength is too big. No, I must use my strongest move, otherwise there is no way to deal with him. Shang Tianfei frowned and muttered to himself. Divine Treasure, who was in the body of diamond glass, was still in a losing position when fighting with Wong Tang. He was almost knocked out of the ring again. If he didn't use the final killer move, he might really have no chance. Immortal Glass, he shouted again. The skin all over his body bloomed with a different luster, and he turned directly into a human-shaped glass. Inch by inch of skin, blood vessels, wandering in his body. Vaguely visible, and when he turned into a glass man, the power of thousands of laws in the surrounding void. Just like encountering a magnet, continuously absorbed into his body. And the power kept accumulating, like the eruption before a volcano. This move is interesting, but for me, it's still not good enough. Let me tell you what the ultimate power of physique is. Wong Tang looked at Shang Tianfei who was accumulating strength and said disdainfully. The next moment, there was a loud bang. The holy bones in Wong Tang's body were stimulated, and the strong original power gradually guided the whole body's strength and gathered on his fists. 6 paths of reincarnation fist. The body was compressed again, and the terrifying power accumulated, and it attacked with a bang. This was a real full-strength attack. With the blessing of the holy bones. His 6 paths of reincarnation fist attack is enough to wipe out all enemies at the same stage. It is even possible to kill Prodigy across levels. Bang! Wong Tang's fist. It hit Shang Tianfei's body without reservation. The colorful diamond glass body, once it touched Wong Tang's fist, was like encountering a natural enemy. Crack! There was only a crisp sound. The glass body shattered. And he was immediately blown away by Wong Tang like a cannonball. This time, not as lucky as the previous 2 times. Sufficient power. Sufficient to directly blast him out of the fighting ring. And he really lived up to his name. Shang Tianfei flew towards the sky. The winner is decided. Look, Shang Tianfei was defeated by a punch, and Wong Tang won. Someone seized the opportunity and shouted loudly. Everyone looked in the direction of the sound, and only Wong Tang was left standing on the stage. Spotless. Even his hair was not messy at all. He completely crushed the opponent and won the long-awaited battle. Not bad. The result is the same as I expected. Wong Tang's strength is definitely better than Shang Tianfei. Bu Tianzi nodded and said affirmatively. Saint Emperor and Zhang Ziyu below looked normal, as they were used to it. With Wong Tang's current strength, without the absolute talent level, it would be difficult to fight him for a few moves. Suddenly, boom, a huge noise instantly attracted everyone's attention. The sound was mixed with the power of the Demon Emperor. And every time it sounded, the defense array of the entire Bu Tianli Saint Academy trembled a little. Not good. Dean, someone is sabotaging near the Bu Tian tree. An elder pondered for a moment and reacted instantly. The direction was easy to judge. Moreover, there was a demon Dao aura in the Imperial Might, which was enough to tell that someone had come in to cause trouble. The next moment, frowning, Bu Tianzi also realized the seriousness of the matter and quickly rushed to the location of the Bu Tian tree. Once the Bu Tian tree had a problem. Not only would the entire Bu Heavenly Saint Academy be destroyed, but even the defensive formation would instantly collapse. At that time, if a strong enemy took this opportunity to attack, they would have no room to fight back. All elders, leave some to guard the gate, and the rest will follow me to encircle and suppress the demon Dao people who came in to cause trouble. Bu Tianzi raised his voice, shouting while speeding up and rushing over. Not only them, even the prodigy disciples in the inner courtyard were terrified, and many of them ran directly outside the courtyard. Prepare to temporarily avoid the edge. As for Zhongwang Shang Tianfei, he had been knocked away by Wong Tang's punch a long way away, and no one paid attention to him. Meanwhile, on the fighting ring, this is a great opportunity. I thought these two people would find a chance to steal the Bu Tian fruit, but I didn't expect a big guy to come today. I'll take the Bu Tian fruit while they're fighting. Wong Tang grinned and said to himself. At this moment, Saint Emperor and Zhang Ziyu have come to him. Brother. See, this is called luck. We are just lucky. We happened to see them fighting, and maybe something big will happen today. The Quasi-Emperor has infiltrated and destroyed the Holy Court. It is likely that this Holy Court will not be saved. Saint Emperor shook his head and laughed. As the saying goes, it is better to stumble upon something than to come by chance. This time, we can successfully get what they want. Then let's slowly approach them. When their battlefield is out of the void, we will immediately take action. Zhang Ziyu showed her little tiger teeth and said playfully. Just then, the voice of the system came from Wong Tang's mind. Ding, congratulations to the host, the new sign-in location is refreshed. Sign-in location, Bu Tian tree. Sign in at Bu Tian tree. It's really a pillow when you are sleepy. As soon as the voice fell, there was another loud noise. Above the inner courtyard where they were, the transparent defense array gradually began to crack. Although this is an ancient array, but it is better to attack from the weak points inside or directly attack the Bu Tian tree at the center of the array. It will definitely work immediately. The scene changed to the side of the Bu Tian tree. These old men are really cautious. There are so many formations arranged outside the tree. It seems that it will take a while to open it. What should I do? The right guardian wiped the sweat off his face and said to himself. In front of him, there are no less than 20 defensive formations arranged outside this huge Bu Tian tree. Although he has broken several ordinary formations. But the layers are stacked. The formations are getting stronger as he goes inside, making him feel powerless. I think so. The Bu Tian Saint Academy has been established for many years, and even the great emperor has come to practice when he was young. Even if it takes 10,000 years to add a formation. The defense of the Bu Tian tree. It is too exaggerated to imagine. Guardian, why don't we change direction first? After all, Gong Ke promised us that he would give us the Bu Tian fruit. Let's break other places first. A great saint next to him stepped forward and said. They attacked the Bu Tian tree. On the one hand, he wanted to cause great destruction, and on the other hand, he wanted to take the Bu Tian fruit for himself. You were right, don't hold back. There are no defensive arrays in other places. Destroy them all. And those students and ordinary elders, kill them one by one. The right protector said with a ferocious face. Since it is impossible to have the best of both worlds, he will destroy Bu Tianzi according to the original plan. As soon as the voice fell, he operated a divine ability in his hand and released it towards a loft next to him. Boom! In an instant, the loft was destroyed instantly. Together with some students who did not escape, they turned into a wisp of flying ash. You guys, killing innocent people indiscriminately, when the dean comes, he will never let you go. In the ruins, an elder who fell to the ground with a serious injury covered his chest and shouted angrily. This Bu Tian sacred land is their home for survival. No matter who sees it, will it not be distressed? But the right protector did not think so. As a member of Demon Dao and the guardian of the evil spirit cult, he treated human life as worthless. In the blink of an eye, countless buildings were destroyed. And many students died one by one at the hands of the right guardian. You devil, stop it. A roar that shook the sky temporarily stopped the right protector who was charging for another attack. He turned his head and saw that the person who came was Bu Tianzi. Looking at the corpses all over the ground and the ruined buildings of Bu Heavenly Saint Academy, Bu Tianzi was stunned. These are all prodigy children of various forces, and now they are dead in the academy. He must be the first to bear the responsibility. The most important thing is, how to explain to them. Dean, ha 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 ha, I'm so sorry to ask you to come and see the results in person. How about it, are you satisfied with the corpses on the ground? The right protector laughed wildly. In his hand, he prepared the sky-breaking talisman for escape. The rest of the Great Saint-level combat forces also stopped attacking and gradually moved closer to the right protector. After all, they were still in Bu Heavenly Saint Academy. This Bu Tianzi's strength is first class and powerful. If he doesn't seize the opportunity to escape, he will only be trapped here. You deserve to die. Don't even think about leaving today. All of you will die here. Bu Tianzi gritted his teeth and said angrily. The next moment, he mobilized the power of the laws around him, then raised his hand high and clenched it down. Almost instantly, the Bu Tian tree, which was in a static state, seemed to be summoned by him, swaying its slender and huge branches and shaking constantly. With each rhythm, the defensive shield outside the Bu Heavenly Saint courtyard changed madly, transforming from the outside to the inside into a terrifying attack formation. Bu Tian formation, open. The angry roar was like a boulder smashed into the river, setting off endless waves of sound. Following, thousands of swords, bursting with golden light, slowly condensed in the formation. Now, everyone concentrate and prepare to escape with me. The right protector took out the sky-breaking talisman and shouted. The released spiritual sense. They had already locked onto the void passage where they had entered before. As soon as the voice fell, before they could crush the sky-breaking talisman, Bu Tianzi seemed to have noticed it and said with a fake smile. Want to leave? Do you think you can leave? This Bu Tian formation can see through every void in the Holy Court. When I mobilized the Bu Tian tree to help in the battle just now, I found out that you were going to escape. Upon hearing this, the expression of the right protector suddenly became ugly. After a long time, when Bu Tianzi borrowed the Bu Tian tree just now, he discovered their plan. And the next moment, Bu Tianzi waved his hand. The defensive formation shrank inward, reflecting the void passage constructed by the sky-breaking talisman in front of everyone. Buzz. The Bu Tian tree waved its branches. The laws gushed out and instantly blocked this void passage. It's over. Right protector, what should we do now? A great saint asked in horror. The void passage was blocked, which meant they could not escape from the Heavenly Saint courtyard. And with the help of the formation and the Heavenly Tree, it would only take some time for Heavenly Saint to kill them. What should we do? Fight him, what else can we do? The right guardian was also panicked for a moment, and the whole person went from being arrogant just now to being furious. Unless a miracle happens, otherwise, none of them can escape. In a dark place, Vice President Gong Ke frowned as he looked at the situation in front of him. This is bad. Why are these people so slow? They should have left when Bu Tianzi appeared. Now they are really finished. He was a little worried. He was afraid that one of them would shake him out before he died. But then he thought again. The leader of the evil spirit cult has not yet obtained the Bu Tian fruit, so these people may not do this. He can only take one step at a time. Now if he does not help to eliminate this group of people, it will be the biggest setback for his status. At the same time, near the Bu Tian tree, which is dozens of meters away, Wong Tang and the other two approached quietly, and their eyes were all on the top of the Bu Tian tree. There is a pink fruit there. Golden lines appeared on it, emitting a brilliant light. It can be noticed by a peripheral vision. Brother, look, the Bu Tian fruit. It blooms once every 10,000 years and bears fruit once every 10,000 years, and it has not been picked yet. Saint Emperor said excitedly, pointing to the top of the tree. Originally, they all speculated. Would Bu Tian Saint Academy pick and preserve the fruit the moment it ripens? Now, it seems that they still let it grow on it. But there are many compressed defense formations outside this Bu Tian tree, and it seems difficult to break through. Zhang Ziyu frowned and said. And he did not bring the emperor weapon. Otherwise, there might be a chance to break these defense formations. Even the Right Guardian, a powerful quasi-emperor. After so many attacks, he only broke a few ordinary formations. With the three of them, how can they destroy all of them? Not to mention that Butnz mobilized the Butn tree. Once the formation had a backlash, they would be exposed. Let me think about it. Wong Tang touched his chin and thought. This is indeed a difficult problem. But with a flash of inspiration, he thought of the system's sign in location. It was right next to the Butn tree. Maybe there would be unexpected rewards. System, sign in for me. Wong Tang's mind moved and he muttered silently. As he said the word sign in, the system's voice resounded in his mind. Ding, congratulations to the host, the sign in was successful. Get the sign in reward 4 elephants cone. 4 elephants cone. This is obviously a weapon. But it is not the extreme Dao Emperor weapon. Given the system's wealth, it will definitely not give very ordinary things. Then this may have other uses. As soon as the system's voice fell, a cone about half an arm long appeared in his hand. The position of its cone head. It is engraved with azure dragon, white tiger, vermilion bird, black tortoise, these 4 mythical beasts. The part of the cone body. It is surrounded by dense runes. The most special, it is the tip of the cone. The tip of that point was golden and contained complex time and space laws. And a spiritual sense information. It was quickly transmitted to Wong Tang's spiritual sense through the hand that touched the 4 symbols cone. It turned out that this 4 symbols cone was a special divine weapon for breaking formations. All formations would collapse in front of the 4 symbols cone, even the ancient formations would be broken in an instant. In terms of breaking formations, this is the top divine weapon, not inferior to the extreme Dao Emperor weapon. The most important thing is the speed. And after breaking it, it will not produce any vibration, which is like a timely help for Wong Tang and others. All of you get out of the way. Leave this formation to me, watch me break it. Wong Tang called the 2 people and stepped in front of the defensive formation. Then, he raised the 4 symbols cone in his hand. Clang, just knocked it lightly. The first layer of the defensive formation collapsed instantly, as if it had never been triggered. Disappeared without a trace. Brother, what's this thing of yours? Breaking the formation is as easy as drinking water. Isn't it too exaggerated? Saint Emperor opened his eyes wide and said in surprise. Even though he was a fighting Saint Ape, he had seen many magical weapons with his father. He had never seen such a weapon in Wong Tang's hand. This is just the beginning. Watch carefully, the next is the highlight. Wong Tang grinned and raised the 4 symbols cone again. This time, his ancient holy blood boiled and blessed his arm with infinite power. Bang! The 4 symbols cone fell again. It was more than 10 times stronger than before. And this bombardment instantly broke through the layers of defensive formations. Even the several ancient formations inside. They broke open a void hole large enough for people to pass through. Let's go in. Wong Tang put away the 4 symbols cone and waved to the 2. Then, the 3 of them quickly entered without the obstruction of the formation. Wong Tang dodged. He picked the Butn fruit from the top of the tree. Little rascal, since the Butn fruit is in hand, let's leave immediately while they are fighting fiercely. Zhang Ziyu glanced at the battlefield in the void and said. The fight is now fierce. If you don't escape in time, you won't be able to escape when Butnz reacts. Nodded. Wong Tang pointed to a weak spot on one side and signaled the 2 to sneak over and leave from there. While the 3 of them were quietly escaping. In the void, the external defense formation mobilized by Butnz instantly weakened a little. What's going on? Why did the power dissipate? Just as he was wondering, the injured right protector and several remaining great saint-level powerhouses also discovered this sudden situation. And the void passage that was blocked before. Because of the temporary dissipation of power, the big hole was broken again. Good opportunity. Breaking the sky talisman, break it for me. The Right Guardian immediately crushed the breaking sky talisman and fled from the Heavenly Saint Academy with the remaining great saints. And Wong Tang and the other 2 also left smoothly. At this moment, the entire Heavenly Saint Academy was almost a ruin. Except for Butnz who was stunned in the void, all the students fled the Saint Academy. Even the prodigy gathered at the gate. Because of the battle just now, they all fled. Ha 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 ha. Butnz, now you will retire, the position of the dean is mine. In a dark place, the vice dean Gong Ke laughed wildly. Ruins don't exist. As long as he can become the dean of the Holy Academy and hold absolute power, everything can be abandoned. Ah, that Wong Tang is really a jinx. Every time he goes to a place, something big happens. Either an ancestor-level figure falls, or it is destroyed like our Holy Academy. Outside the Holy Academy, an elder shook his head and sighed. They had a bad premonition before, but they didn't expect it to come so soon. Who said it wasn't? Just now I saw the three of them leave the Holy Academy. They really run away every time they cause trouble. Someone pointed to a place and whispered. That was the direction where Wong Tang and the other two fled, and now they have disappeared without a trace. Bu Heavenly Saint Academy. After reacting, Bu Tianzi looked at the Bu Tian tree instantly. At this moment, the layers of defensive formations outside the Bu Tian tree, all were destroyed. The Bu Tian fruit growing on the Bu Tian tree had long been picked by someone, and because of this, the power of the Bu Tian tree would instantly dissipate by more than half. He failed. How is this possible? These formations are ancient formations, and even the great emperor needs to use the emperor weapon to break them. How could it be broken silently, and I didn't even notice it? Bu Tianzi was shocked and puzzled. But the incident had already happened, and he didn't notice the thief, so he could only give up for the time being. Gong Ke, who also saw the scene, was already in a state of confusion. Although he successfully destroyed the Bu Heavenly Saint Academy, which was enough for Bu Tianzi to resign as the dean. But the Bu Tian fruit that he promised to give to the evil spirit cult as a reward, but disappeared. Now that he has no reward, he might be completely betrayed by the evil spirits. At the same time, after Wong Tang and the other two escaped from the Heavenly Saint Court, they crushed a special sound transmission talisman. Buzz. Location locked. Several Wong family ancestors far away in the eastern wilderness used their great magic power together to open up the void channel connecting Zhongzhou. Let's go in. Wong Tang pointed to the channel in front of him and said to the two people beside him. Nodded. The three of them entered the void channel together. And in an instant, they arrived at the other end of the channel, and just came to the top of Yaoqi sacred land. Great-grandson-in-law, you are back. Great-granddaughter, how is it? Did you all get the heavenly fruit successfully? The first ancestor of the Zhang family asked hurriedly at the gate, looking at the people who appeared. Since the three of them went to Zhongzhou, he has been staying in Yaoqi sacred land, paying attention to Yan Ruyu's situation, and shocking the enemies of Yaoqi sacred land. I got it. This is it. Wong Tang took out the heaven repairing fruit from the storage bag and handed it to the first ancestor of the Zhang family. It looked like a small pink fruit. It contained the power to repair the heaven, and even the incomplete great Tao laws of heaven and earth could be perfectly repaired. This is it. Now the innate sacred body Tao fetus can be replenished in time. The first ancestor of the Zhang family nodded and said, the Bu Tian fruit is fine. Immediately, he took the Bu Tian fruit and hurriedly entered the Yaoqi sacred land. Came to Yan Ruyu's bed. The first ancestor of the Zhang family activated the emperor weapon in his hand. In an instant, the Hengyu furnace gushed out endless imperial fire, melting the Bu Tian fruit into a ball of pink liquid. Then, with the help of the pressure of the emperor weapon, slowly sank into Yan Ruyu's belly. With the entry of the Bu Tian fruit liquid, the small bulge in Yan Ruyu's abdomen suddenly flashed with golden brilliance. Various laws great Tao condensed and gradually took shape in her body. There was still a slight fetal heartbeat. Success. The fetus is absorbing the Bu Tian fruit. When the absorption is complete, the seal can be unsealed, and some will be fed back to her at that time. The first ancestor of the Zhang family breathed a sigh of relief and said. Upon hearing this, the three of them smiled at each other and breathed a sigh of relief at the same time. Finally, this big problem was solved. But the Heavenly Saint Monastery was in a mess. Not only did the heavenly fruit disappear inexplicably, but it also suffered an unprecedented heavy blow. Even Gong Ke, the vice president who wanted to be promoted, was worried and didn't know how to hand over the reward to deal with it. At the same time, in the western desert, on a plateau, on a mountain peak filled with Buddhist sounds, an ancient heavenly palace suddenly appeared. The birds and beasts carved on its door. And the unique extreme power law, it can be seen instantly that it was left by a great body cultivator in ancient times. Buddha. Report to the Buddha, a palace appeared on the plateau, it seems to be left by an ancient cultivator. And there is a quasi-emperor aura emanating from the gaps in the gate, most likely its owner was a quasi-emperor strongman in his lifetime. A bald little monk hurriedly ran into the great thunderclap monastery and reported to the Buddha who was sitting on it. Lord Buddha, how about we take action immediately, block the news, and take this ancient heavenly palace for ourselves? Next to him, golden-winged great Pung Buddha thought for a while and spoke. Although the relics and opportunities between the 5 major regions can be shared by each other, some grotto heaven palaces related to the improvement of cultivation. It is not impossible for one person to swallow it. Moreover, with the strength of their western desert, they can definitely secretly swallow this ancient heavenly palace. And the other bodhisattvas and arhats in the hall all nodded in agreement with the golden-winged great Pung Buddha's point of view. But the next moment, the Lord Buddha, who was sitting high, seemed to have thought of something, and waved his hand and said, "No, we will not participate in this ancient heavenly palace. And, take this opportunity to spread the news, and it is best to let everyone in the other 4 regions know." What? Not to swallow it alone, not to participate, but to give it up. Buddha, why is that? What if there are rare treasures and magic weapons inside? Wouldn't we in the western desert suffer a great loss? What should we do if the monks from the other 4 regions enjoy the fruits of our labor? The golden-winged great Pung Buddha frowned and said in panic. He tried his best to persuade. After all, the ruins of the ancient heavenly palace have not yet been opened, and there must be treasures left by powerful monks inside. Hearing this, the Buddha shook his head slightly and said, "This is a good opportunity, a chance to take revenge, how can we let it go? First, we need the power of incense to practice Buddhism, and most of the treasures in the ancient heavenly palace are useless to us. Second, this was left by the powerful monk. If the news is released, it will definitely attract many people to come, and Wong Tang will definitely come here. When the time comes, we will focus on thinking about how to kill him in there without making a sound." After a long time, he had another purpose, to kill Wong Tang. I see. The Buddha is really wise. Once the news of the ancient physical cultivation ruins is released, it would be a lie if Wong Tang didn't come. Golden-winged great Pung Buddha grinned and said, as long as it was aimed at Wong Tang, he would agree with both hands, not to mention that he wanted to kill him specifically. Not to mention the ancient heavenly palace. He might even be willing to give up the emperor weapon. Then, the Buddha gave the task of spreading the news to golden-winged great Pung Buddha. Although his speed was not as fast as Kunpeng, but he was also a leader among the birds, and was able to quickly pass the news to the branch hall of Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. And with the transmission of the news, the physical cultivation prodigy of the other 4 regions, or the older generation of cultivators, were attracted by the ancient heavenly palace that was born. Eastern Wilderness, Wong family. In the Emperor's palace. Wong Tang, who had just recovered a few days ago. He learned about the ruins of the heavenly palace of the ancient power monk, and he was a little restless. My cultivation has reached the venerable realm 9th layer. I am only 1 step away from the emperor realm. Maybe this ancient heavenly palace can help me break through again. Wong Tang touched his chin and thought. He entered a bottleneck period for a short time. Although he could rely on the heaven-swallowing demon technique to devour the flesh of pure-blooded creatures to increase his cultivation. But due to his excessive targeted killing, many ancient species, or pure-blooded creatures, hid far away when they heard about him. There was no chance at all. But with this ancient heavenly palace, many creatures would still take the risk to enter it, and this was the opportunity for Wong Tang to choose to hunt. Brother, we don't have any worries anyway. Why don't we set off now? I heard that those physical cultivators are hidden in the world and usually don't show up in front of people. This is a good opportunity to have a good fight with them. Saint Emperor said, holding the black iron rod. As a natural fighting maniac, his lineage of fighting Saint Apes likes to fight with physical cultivators the most. That kind of pure power confrontation. It's tailor-made for them. Nodded. Wong Tang was about to speak when the system's voice immediately echoed in his mind. Ding, congratulations host, the new sign in location is refreshed. Sign in location, Ant Palace. Ant Palace, why not the ancient heavenly palace? Wong Tang frowned in confusion. Since he got the sign-in system, this is the first time he has gone against the place he wants to go. And this ant palace, he knows it very well. It is not only one of the 7 life forbidden areas, but also the habitat of the sky-horned ant, one of the 10 evils with extreme power. Monkey. Our next stop is the ant palace. I also want to meet the heavenly ant. Just treat it as a warm-up before going to the ruins of the heavenly palace left by the ancient body cultivator. Wong Tang looked at Saint Emperor and said slowly. Go to the ant palace. Saint Emperor, who heard this, imagined it in his mind. I thought Wong Tang was foresighted. He wanted to pull the heavenly ant into the group, and then explore the ancient heavenly palace. After all, the heavenly ant has the law of the extreme realm of power. Who knows, it may be of great use in the ruins of the heavenly palace. Okay, let's go to the ant palace first. I am very familiar with the terrain there and often went there when I was a child. Although there are many fierce formations, it's a piece of cake for me and I can easily avoid them. Saint Emperor patted his chest and promised. If someone else goes to the ant palace without a special guide or the approval of the guards left by the old sky-horn ant, even if they don't die, they will lose a layer of skin. After the finalization, the 2 of them set off for the ant palace without any delay. In less than a day, the 2 arrived at the periphery of the ant palace. There are many fierce formations arranged here, including some terrifying formations from ancient times. Most of them are left by the old sky-horn ant. Brother, follow my steps. I'll take you in. The formations on the periphery are easy to pass. As long as you are familiar with them, you can avoid them. Saint Emperor said confidently with his hands in his pockets. In his early years, his Saint Ape Valley had a close relationship with the ant palace, so he naturally knew the distribution of these peripheral formations. Then, he took a step slowly. It seemed that he had entered the formation, but he was stepping on the life gate, and there was no danger at all. Under his leadership, the 2 of them soon passed through the outer boundary and entered the deep area of the Ant Emperor Palace. There are still many formations here. However, unlike the outer formations, these need to be removed by the guards themselves. Only then can outsiders enter. Saint Emperor, stop your steps immediately. My little master is in seclusion, and no outsiders are allowed to enter. Since you are the descendant of the Ape Emperor, if you leave now, I will not hold you accountable for entering the Ant Emperor Palace. A hoarse voice slowly came out of the palace, causing the 2 to stop moving forward. Then, the 2 saw the owner of the voice. It was an old man with wrinkles all over his face, and his hollow eye sockets were unfathomable. He exuded a strong quasi-emperor pressure. Behind him, there were several great saint old men, whose strength was many times stronger than that of ordinary great saints in the outside world. Obviously, they walked out of their own great Tao. And these people, they are the veterans who followed the old skyhorn ant, the survivors who survived countless years ago. Although they have lost much energy, their inner persistence supports them to protect the little skyhorn ant in seclusion. Especially the veteran in the lead. He followed the old skyhorn ant to fight in all directions. Although he is not a member of the Skyhorn Ant clan, he was also given the most unique surname of their clan, Zan. His name is Zan Wu. Old man Zan, we all know each other. Why do you care about these? I come to discuss something with your young master. Why don't you go and inform them? And these formations, all of them should be temporarily removed. Let's come here first. Saint Emperor grinned and laughed. From the words, it can be heard that Saint Emperor and these veterans have known each other for a long time. And the relationship is not ordinary. Very familiar. But this old man seems to be unmoved. Standing there. He still repeats the words just now, without any discussion. Monkey, it looks like it's not working. Your old acquaintance is useless now. Wong Tang shook his head and said, you can't blame me for this. We used to be very close, but now their young master has been in seclusion, so it's hard to get in. Besides, their ability to reproduce is too weak, even lower than that of a real dragon. I guess they are still considering the issue of offspring. Saint Emperor spread his hands and said casually, consider the offspring. Once reminded, Wong Tang touched his chin and instantly had an idea in his mind. The Sky-Horned Ant Clan. Long lifespan and strong strength. The only problem is the reproduction of offspring, which is just right for him to start from this point. Senior Zan, Please tell me that we came here this time to discuss something important. It's about helping your sky-horned ant clan to reproduce offspring 100% successfully. Wong Tang cupped his hands and said. He believed that this point could control these veterans. After all, they have been protecting the little sky-horned ant for endless years. It is impossible not to worry about this problem. Sure enough, as soon as these words came out, the face of the quasi-emperor veteran was instantly trembling. Although it was not so obvious, but it was still captured by Wong Tang subtly. Brother, don't make promises without thinking. The reproduction of the sky-horned ants is 10 times more difficult than that of our fighting saint ape and true dragon race. Even the great emperor dare not make promises casually. Saint Emperor stood behind him, tugged at the corner of his clothes, and frowned. He was very worried. What if Wong Tang couldn't come up with a solution at that time, or failed when implementing it? Then they couldn't leave the ant palace. Don't worry, I know what to do. Wong Tang patted his shoulder and comforted him. Wait for a moment. After careful consideration, this quasi-emperor level veteran decided to give it a try. After all, there is the relationship with Saint Emperor. It can be barely believed. Okay then, wait for me to tell the young master, but if the young master doesn't let you in, don't blame me for being ruthless. At that time, I hope you will leave on your own. Zhan Wu was relieved, but he still said the ugly words in advance. If it doesn't work, they can only leave. Then, Zhan Wu asked the two to wait there, and he stood up and entered the Ant Emperor Palace. At this moment, deep in the Ant Emperor Palace, in a spiritual spring where Dao Rime gathered, there was a handsome boy with runes carved all over his body. His arms were particularly huge. You can tell at a glance that he is full of strength. And this boy, it is the only offspring left by the old sky-horn ant, the little master that Zhan Wu swore to protect with his life. Zhan Tianchong, little master. The Saint Emperor of the Holy Ape Valley brought an outsider to see him, saying that there is something important to discuss. And the outsider said that he is 100% sure that he can solve the problem of reproduction of the little master's clan. Zhan Wu stood in front of the pool and spoke respectfully. Hearing this, Zhan Tianchong in the pool slowly opened his eyes, revealing a different kind of brilliance in his eyes. Uncle Wu, then let them in. If he really has a way, then the inheritance problem of my clan will be solved. Then it will be completely solved. Zhan Tianchong said directly without any hesitation. As the only sky-horned ant in the world, he has the responsibility to reproduce his offspring, which is also a wish of the old sky-horned ant. Nodded, Zhan Wu left the pool and returned to the original place, while conveying the words of spiritual sense. Let the other veterans unlock the ban of the murderous formation. Let Wong Tang and the other two come in. Afterwards, under the leadership of Zhan Wu, the two successfully entered the Ant Emperor Palace and came to the spiritual pool where Zhan Tianchong was in seclusion. Zhan Tianchong, it's been so many years, why are you still soaking in this pool? Is it possible that your injuries have not recovered yet? Saint Emperor frowned and asked back. Since he was a child, when he followed the fighting ape emperor to the Ant Emperor Palace, Zhan Tianchong has been soaking in the spiritual pool. But he was still young at that time. He often fell into a deep sleep. Because Zhan Tianchong did not get the perfect Dao Rime supplement when he was born from the sealed God source. That's why he was left with Dao injuries. He has been slowly recovering with the spirit fluid. Now that so many years have passed, Zhan Tianchong is still soaking in the spirit pool, which shows that the Dao injury has not recovered as before. Let's not talk about this for now. Monkey, I heard that the person you brought has a way to solve the reproduction problem of my tribe. Why not tell me now? If it's really useful, then I will definitely not treat you unfairly. Zhan Tianchong narrowed his eyes and asked. He also had some doubts. After all, the reproduction limitations of the sky-horn ant have not been solved since ancient times. What if the two people made up an excuse to come in to see him? According to his understanding of Saint Emperor, the latter is completely likely to do this. That's why he came straight to the point. Brother, it's up to you next. This Zhan Tianchong is impatient. I'm not good at talking, so I can only rely on you. Saint Emperor muttered in a low voice. He hoped that Wong Tang was not bragging, otherwise they would definitely be in trouble. The next moment, Wong Tang took a deep breath and called out the system from his mind. System, sign in for me. After signing in several times, he basically figured it out. The sign-in system will issue rewards according to the situation every time. If he guessed correctly, this reward will definitely solve the current problem. Otherwise, if he fails, he will only have the chance to start the banquet. Ding! Congratulations to the host, the sign-in is successful. Get the reward, 3 Ant King fruits. Ant King fruit. Hearing these 3 words, Wong Tang was excited. Although he didn't know its function yet, he knew from the name that he had made the right bet this time. Sure enough, with a flash of golden light, 3 fruits like ant eggs appeared in his palm in an orderly manner. And a spiritual sense was transmitted to his mind. Explained the function and effect of this Ant King fruit. Just as Wong Tang thought. After taking the Ant King fruit, the reproduction capacity of the skyhorn ant can be increased by 100%. 3 pieces. That means 3 offspring. You know, skyhorn ants almost always reproduce 1 person per generation, and can reproduce 3 people per generation. It is simply a miracle. If 3 skyhorn ants can be reproduced, perhaps they can break the history of their tribe. Expand the tribe and reproduce. And the Ant King fruit can also provide the extreme realm of power. It is exactly what Zhan Tianchong needs. My 100% certainty. That is, these 3 Ant King fruits, once taken, you can reproduce 100% of your offspring. It can also replenish your extreme power and restore your injuries. Wong Tang took out the Ant King fruits and introduced them one by one. Looking at the Ant King fruit in his hand, Zhan Tianchong seemed to see something irresistible, and his eyes were fixed. He stared at his hand. The next moment, Zhan Tianchong opened his mouth, and an Ant King fruit floated in the air and entered his mouth. As soon as the Ant King fruit entered his mouth, it quickly turned into a ball of liquid and was continuously absorbed into his body. My Dao injury is actually healing. So many years have passed, and it can't be completely healed, but this fruit has such a miraculous effect, which is really unheard of. Zhan Tianchong was shocked, because he really felt that the Dao injury was healing, and a strong heat was swelled in his lower body. Any man with a discerning eye could see it. The effect of this Ant King fruit that increases reproductive capacity by 100% is definitely not groundless. How is it? Now you know I didn't lie to you. I still have 2 Ant King fruits in my hand. You can take them later or now. But, you have already eaten one, so you should agree to my conditions. Otherwise, you have to compensate me with an Ant King fruit. Wong Tang's mouth corners slightly raised, sighing. He has already eaten Zhan Tianchong. From attracting his attention at the beginning, to him opening his mouth without hesitation to swallow the Ant King fruit. It means that he has no way back. After all, this heaven-defying treasure, even as the owner of the Ant King Palace, he can't afford to pay. He can only agree to Wong Tang's request. You say it. As long as I can do it, I can agree to you. Zhan Tianchong is impatient and speaks directly. The value of these 3 Ant King fruits. But everyone can see it. It's not a big request. I want you to be my bodyguard for 500 years. When the time is up, you can leave on your own. Wong Tang said slowly. This made Saint Emperor beside him think of the scene when he was defeated. At that time, Wong Tang also used this rhetoric. Now he is following Wong Tang wholeheartedly. If the time is up for 500 years. No need for Wong Tang to remind him. He will not leave even a step. Now Wong Tang uses this trick to trick Zhan Tianchong again, which will definitely have the desired effect in the future. Bodyguard. The term is 500 years. Zhan Tianchong frowned. He is a member of the Tianzhao ant clan, but he has to be a bodyguard for others. Wouldn't it be a disgrace to their reputation if it spread out? Just when he was about to refuse, he suddenly saw the Ant King fruit in Wong Tang's hand. In addition, he couldn't compensate for the one he swallowed. So, after careful consideration, Zhan Tianchong sighed and agreed. Okay, I promise you. But there is one thing, once the 500 years are up, no matter what, I will leave immediately. Anyway, the lifespan of their sky-horned ants is long. A mere 500 years. He can afford it. In that case. Then you should eat these too, your Dao injuries are almost healed. Let's set off immediately and head to the ancient heavenly palace that appeared in the western desert. Wong Tang threw the Ant King fruit in his hand to Zhan Tianchong in the spiritual liquid pool. There is no time to lose. They have wasted a lot of time here. Maybe someone has already got to the ancient heavenly palace first. Nodding, Zhan Tianchong swallowed the remaining 2 ant king fruits and absorbed them thoroughly. The Dao injury that had been unable to heal for a long time. After absorbing these 3 ant king fruits, it was almost healed instantly. And the remaining traces of Dao injury. After completely absorbing the medicinal effects, he can be perfectly reborn and return to his true level. After a while, after absorbing it, Zhan Tianchong just exerted a little force on his legs and jumped out of the spiritual liquid pool in an instant. Bang! As soon as he landed, the terrifying extreme power burst out, and the entire ground was sunk into a big pit. Ha 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 ha, comfortable, really comfortable, I can finally use the ultimate power without worries. Zhan Tianchong raised his hand and roared to the sky. Now that he is no longer troubled by the wound, he can fully release the power of his clan. Since your wounds are almost healed, then, let's go, we should also set off for the ancient heavenly palace. Wong Tang glanced at him and said slowly. Immediately afterwards, under the gaze of a group of veterans, the 3 of them successfully left the Ant Emperor Palace and rushed towards the ancient heavenly palace that appeared in the West Desert. At the same time, in the ancestral dragon nest, in the ancestral land, a strong earthquake wave emanated from it, attracting all the true dragon races. What's going on? Why is there an abnormal movement in the ancestral land? Someone was confused and asked. Count the days. It's almost the day when Aoshin comes out of retreat. He should have obtained all the ancestral dragon inheritance. The first ancestor of the ancestral dragon nest showed up and said slowly. Although they were previously tricked by the Wong family, resulting in the loss of several quasi-emperor ancestors. But this long Aoshin's exit from retreat, he saw a glimmer of hope again. The hope of defeating Wong Tang, winning the great emperor of this life, and then destroying the Wong family. Boom! A huge explosion sounded. The moment the stone wall in the ancestral land exploded, a slender figure burst out from it. The terrifying aura emanating from his body. Even the first ancestor of the dragon nest saw it, and his heart was vaguely a little throbbing. This is the breath of the dragon. There is only 1 in a million. In other words, Long Aoshin successfully obtained the dragon inheritance, and obtained it all. Ancestor. I succeeded, Ancestor. Long Aoshin had a smile on his face, and came to the front of everyone in a few steps. And on his body, there is a Dao Ancestor dragon totem engraved. There is no doubt that his bloodline has evolved, becoming the only person in the world with the dragon bloodline. Aoshin, how is it? Are you confident in your own strength now? The first ancestor of the dragon nest stepped forward, patted his shoulder, and asked. The moment his palm was placed on his shoulder, the terrifying power contained in Long Aoshin's body even bounced his palm away by a few inches. Although it was only a few inches, but it was the palm of the quasi-emperor after all, containing infinite imperial power. How could ordinary people bounce it off? But Long Aoshin just rebounded the power in his body. He did this. It is enough to see that Long Aoshin really achieved a complete transformation, and his strength took a 180-degree turn. Old ancestor, don't worry. I have passed down all the divine abilities of Zulong. If I fight with Wong Tang again, I am fully confident that I can kill him on the spot and wash away the shame of my broken arm. Long Aoshin raised his left arm and snorted coldly. Although he took the corresponding divine medicine to restore his arm, the humiliation brought by Wong Tang that day, it was deeper than the pain. It was almost imprinted in his heart. Well, good. Aoshin, you are ambitious, and it's just right that you have come out of retreat. The remains of the ancient powerful monk appeared in the western desert, and I think Wong Tang should go there too. You can go find his traces and take revenge. The 9th ancestor of the dragon nest was overjoyed and smiled. At the Myriad Races conference, he was the only one who escaped back, and he had long wanted to take action. Now that Long Aoshin is here, he will definitely be able to solve the revenge of the 5 quasi-emperor ancestors. That's what I mean. Wong Tang, if I don't kill you, I, Long Aoshin, will be unable to sleep or eat. Long Aoshin said viciously. Then, he went to the ancient heavenly palace in the western desert in person under the escort of the 9th ancestor of the dragon nest and the 3rd ancestor of the dragon nest. At the same time, in the ancestral land of the Phoenix Ridge, a clear and loud phoenix cry suddenly roared out, shocking all the members of the Phoenix clan. Phoenix cry. This is the real Phoenix cry. It is the daughter of the emperor who has come out of retreat. She has perfectly obtained all the Phoenix inheritance. The fourth ancestor of Shenwang Ridge smiled and said, "This pure Phoenix cry, it is something that their Shenwang clan cannot match, and it can be clearly detected. There is no other reason except that Feng Yanren successfully obtained the inheritance." As expected, not long after he finished speaking, a figure like the Phoenix Nirvana slowly flew from the ancestral land to the sky. Its figure is no different from that of the Phoenix. It is completely out of the category of the rare bloodline of the Shenwang. "Ancestor, where is Wong Tang? Now that I have obtained all the inheritance of the Phoenix, I will go and kill him to avenge my broken leg." Feng Yanren glared and said viciously. Although her right leg was intact, the humiliation that Wong Tang gave her that day was buried in her heart. She wished to cut Wong Tang into pieces. "I don't know where he is for now. But an ancient ruin appeared in the western desert, and Wong Tang will probably go to join in the fun. And just now, my spy sent me a message that Long Aotian also came out of retreat and went to the western desert. Maybe I can really meet Wong Tang there." The fourth ancestor of Shenwang Ridge pondered for a moment and spoke. In his opinion, now that Feng Yanren has come out of retreat, she already has the strength to kill Wong Tang. That's why he is not worried at all. On the contrary, he told her all the information he knew. "Okay then, I'll go to the ancient ruins now. I will never give up until I kill Wong Tang." Feng Yanren snorted coldly and said slowly. Then, the phoenix pattern on her skin flickered, and instantly turned into a flying phoenix. That's right, she is no longer a divine phoenix, but a phoenix with real phoenix blood. At the same time, in the western desert, outside the ancient heavenly palace. What's going on? According to the situation, the door of the ancient heavenly palace should have opened by itself. Why is it tightly closed? Even brute force can't open it. A prodigy frowned and asked in confusion. The door of the ancient heavenly palace. It is more than 100 meters high. And it is made of a very special weak stone, similar to weak water, and its weight is almost 10 times heavier. If it relies on brute force, the chance of opening it is basically zero. What a pity. People above the Saint Realm can't touch the stone door at all, otherwise it would be opened directly. Someone shook his head and sighed helplessly. This stone door is very special. It is set with special restrictions, which are also mixed with the killing pressure of Quasi-Emperor. If people above the Saint Realm touch it, it will rebound directly. The most important point is that once someone can't help their temper and forcibly break the stone door with Emperor weapon, the mechanism of the entire ancient heavenly palace will be activated. It will directly enter the self-destruction state. Is there no other way? This stone door cannot be opened by brute force, not to mention people below Saint Realm. Even people above Saint Realm cannot open it with brute force. Does this ancient Dao body cultivator really possess such a heaven-defying chi and blood power? Someone spread his hands and said helplessly. If the ancient heavenly palace cannot be opened, it means that the treasure inside cannot be taken. Then they have made a wasted trip. Just when everyone was at a loss, 3 figures flying at high speed attacked from afar. They arrived at the gate of the ancient heavenly palace. Look quickly. The prince of the Wong family and the Saint Emperor are here. Will the ancient heavenly palace explode this time? Everyone was shocked. Seeing him was like seeing doom. It was not their fault. The main reason was that nothing good would happen wherever Wong Tang went. The disaster of the heavenly saint courtyard not long ago. It was a lesson for us. But Wong Tang turned a deaf ear to it and chose to turn a blind eye to the words of the people around him. Xiao Zhan, this is the relic left by the ancient powerful monk. Look at these people wandering at the door. It seems that there is no way to open it. Wong Tang looked around and said slowly. He had already wasted a lot of time going to the ant palace, but when he came here, he didn't even open the door. You don't need to think about why. It's just a small stone door. Let me open it. I just recovered from my injuries and I want to stretch my muscles. Zhan Tianchong shook his wrist and said. As the owner of the ultimate realm of strength, their Tianzhao ant clan is born with strong strength. When they encounter a challenging stone door, how can they not try? Besides, he has been soaking in the spirit pool for many years and has no chance to show his fists and feet. He has been wanting to stretch his muscles for a long time. Boom! A huge sound burst out. After Zhan Tianchong roared to the sky, he transformed into his huge body of the Heavenly Horn Ant. He is actually a member of the Heavenly Horn Ant clan. What powerful means does Wong Tang have? Even the Heavenly Horn Ant, one of the 7 forbidden areas, was tricked to come to his side. Someone opened his eyes wide and said horribly, "This is the only surviving Heavenly Horn Ant in the world. One of the 10 evils. How could they not be shocked?" And just as they were shocked, Zhan Tianchong's body had already moved to the door of the ancient heavenly palace. Roar! A long roar shook the sky. He opened his huge mouth, and the 2 pairs of pliers-like mouth corners suddenly clamped the weak stone door. "Open it for me." Zhan Tianchong's muscles swelled, and he mobilized all his strength and gathered it on the corners of his mouth. A huge force. It burst out in an instant. Directly opened a crack in the weak stone door. What kind of divine power is this? With so many of us physical cultivators working together, the stone door didn't move at all. It's really terrifying. Some people saw this scene and retreated in fear. Opening the stone door with one person's strength. I'm afraid only the Heavenly Horned Ant, who is at the peak of strength, can do it. But it seems that he is not very good. The stone door can be opened a crack, but it can't be opened with his strength alone. It will take another person with similar strength to open the stone door completely. At this time, a monster cultivator in the crowd shook his head and pointed out the shortcomings. The Heavenly Horned Ant's strength is already at its peak. But it still needs another person with the same strength to join in to open it. You can imagine, the owner of this ancient heavenly palace once had such amazing power. One more missing. Let me do it. It seems that the gate of the ancient heavenly palace is not so easy to open. Wong Tang pondered for a moment and said. The next moment, he turned into a kunpeng, flapping his wings and flew to the sky. Then he fell at a very fast speed. The terrifying speed fell from the sky, twisting the surrounding void. Boom! In an instant, Wong Tang turned into a human form. The 6 paths of reincarnation fist in his hand squeezed all the power sources of the desolate ancient saint body. He blasted straight towards the stone gate. There was a loud bang. With the support of the main body of the battle Sky Ant, plus Wong Tang's charged punch, he directly blasted the weak stone gate open. Opened. Wong Tang is so strong, his blood power is stronger than before. I feel like even without the horn ants, he could have opened the stone door. More than that, he seems to have just used the power of 1 constitution, if the 3 constitutions were used at the same time. The stone door will probably be broken. Everyone was surprised and sighed. Some people even flattered Wong Tang directly, praising him to a new height. That was when they were surprised. Wong Tang and the other 2 entered the ancient heavenly palace at lightning speed. As the saying goes, even if you eat shit, you have to walk in front. This is the stone door they opened. They must go in and explore the ancient ruins first. As soon as they entered the ancient heavenly palace, it was simply a different grotto heaven, which made Wong Tang and the other 2 stop temporarily. I thought that the ancient physical cultivators did not pay attention to flowers and plants. It seems that I was wrong. They still know how to create landscapes. They are all rare and precious trees. Although it is of no help to cultivation, it is almost a unique skill. It is still good to appreciate it. Saint Emperor looked around and nodded. After looking at it for a few times, several people accelerated and walked forward. There was a long passage at the gate. After walking through this area, they entered the interior of the ancient heavenly palace. Compared with the rare and precious trees outside, the scene inside seemed a little shabby. Except for a kilometer-long millstone, there was nothing else. The 3 even doubted for a while whether they had walked to the wrong place. After all, the rare and precious trees outside just now undoubtedly said that the owner of this relic was quite sentimental. But this stone plate, it instantly reduced their psychological tolerance. After a while, many prodigy monks from the outside world also arrived in front of this stone plate. What's going on? Where is the inheritance? Where is the treasure? There is not even a pill. Is this playing tricks on us? Some people looked around and said in disbelief. This ancient monk is too shabby. In the entire ancient heavenly palace, except for those useless trees, there is only a stone plate left here. If I had known this earlier, I might as well practice in seclusion. Another person said indignantly. Come to think of it. They came all the way from other places to the West Desert. As a result, there was only a huge and useless stone plate in this ancient heavenly palace, and no one would be happy. Just when everyone wanted to leave, the sharp-eyed Tianzhao ant seemed to have discovered something and quickly walked to the front of the stone plate. He reached out and touched it. Buzz! When his hand touched the stone disc, the entire stone disc began to vibrate violently. And it rotated in place. At the same time, the original stone-like wheel gradually turned into 6 colors after rotating, corresponding to the 6 groove areas. This is 6 paths of reincarnation. How is it possible? How can the 6 paths of reincarnation appear here? Saint Emperor opened his eyes wide and couldn't believe it. 6 paths of reincarnation. What is this? Wong Tang frowned, a little confused. He didn't recognize this thing at all. But looking at Saint Emperor's expression, it must be something extraordinary. It must be a heaven-defying treasure. This 6 paths of reincarnation disc. It is the innate spirit treasure bred in the chaos. It cannot be destroyed. In terms of value alone, it is 10 times stronger than the Emperor weapon. It is said to have the effect of reopening the chaos, but it has never been seen with my own eyes, and it has never been recognized by its owner. It is a miracle that it appeared in this ruins. The sky-horned ant explained slowly. These are all from his inherited memories. And the treasures bred in the chaos have never appeared since ancient times. But now I have seen the 6 paths of reincarnation disc. It is also the #1 treasure among the chaos treasures. How can it not be shocking? 6 paths of reincarnation disc. Why do I feel something related to my 6 paths of reincarnation fist? There is only one word difference between the two. Wong Tang touched his chin and said to himself, with his own 6th sense, he could clearly feel that this 6-path samsara disc must be an opportunity for him. Brother, why don't you give it a try? Anyway, these people don't know what they are, and they are almost gone. If you can make it recognize its master, you can use it as a handy weapon. Using treasures from the chaos as weapons is much cooler than Emperor weapon. Saint Emperor encouraged and laughed. Observe the surroundings. After seeing the stone disc, the many prodigy who came in just now were basically gone. It was a good opportunity for them. Okay, I'll try it. Wong Tang nodded and said. The next moment, he took a deep breath and used the holy bones in his chest to mobilize the ancient holy blood in his body. The holy blood boiled and surged. Compressing the ultimate physical strength, it gathered in his fists. Boom! Wong Tang moved. He quickly came to the 6 paths of samsara, held the stone plate tightly with both hands, and used all his strength. Get up! He shouted with veins popping out of his forehead. But it lasted for a minute. The stone plate still did not move at all. This shocked Wong Tang. Even a man of his strength, under the blessing of the desolate ancient saint body, could hardly shake the stone plate. It was enough to see. The internal weight of this chaos spirit treasure could not be observed by the naked eye. And he needed more blood. Monkey, please help me and pour out all the ingredients in the storage bag on my waist. Wong Tang turned his head and said to Saint Emperor. He was ready to take out his old bottom. Give it a try. If it still didn't work, he would give up directly. Nodded. Saint Emperor went over and took off the storage bag on his waist, which was filled with the ingredients collected by Wong Tang. Ancient alien species, pure-blooded creatures, various demon corpses, and the killed Jinwu Emperor's son, all were inside. Plop, gently fell down. All the corpses were placed on the ground. Seeing this, Wong Tang opened his mouth wide, and the heaven-swallowing demon technique in his body was running to the limit. Swallow. The word of truth came out. Just one mouthful, all the corpses were swallowed into the stomach, and then quickly digested. Transformed into pure energy, replenished into Wong Tang's body. In an instant, he only felt that his cultivation had exploded, directly crossing the last hurdle and entering the realm of the Emperor. And his blood and chi. It was also improved tenfold. This time, I don't believe I can't lift you. Wong Tang closed his mouth and opened his mouth slightly. Boom, both hands used all their strength again. Unlike before, this time Wong Tang's power beyond the limit directly lifted the 6 reincarnation discs. And the 6 paths of reincarnation disc. Once he lifted it, The dim 6 colors in the groove instantly burst into brilliant light, illuminating the entire interior of the ancient heavenly palace. Then, a spiritual sense that warmed his whole body gradually sank into his mind. This was the spiritual sense information that the 6 paths of reincarnation disc recognized its master, and it was just as Wong Tang had guessed before. The 6 paths of reincarnation disc and the 6 paths of reincarnation fist complement each other. They are just like lost brothers. Success. This 6 paths of reincarnation disc recognizes me as its master. Wong Tang's mouth corners rose, secretly delighted. And he could feel the terrifying power contained in the 6 paths of reincarnation disc. It was definitely far beyond the Emperor weapon. Brother, I said, only you can take this thing, no one else, including me and Zhan Tianchong, can take it. Saint Emperor took the opportunity to praise. This is not a joke. After all, among the myriad worlds, except for Wong Tang, who ranks first on the Godfiend Taboo tablet, no one can get the recognition of the 6 paths of samsara. Suddenly, a high-pitched dragon roar came from outside the ancient heavenly palace, pouring in through the open stone door. Wong Tang, come out. I, Long Aotian, have come out of seclusion. Today I come to take your life to avenge my broken arm. Long Aotian. Hearing these 3 words, Wong Tang became interested. You are a defeated general, and you dare to seek death. Well, I just found the 6 paths of samsara, and I am worried that I can't find someone to experiment with it. Now that you are here, I will use you as a sacrifice. As soon as the voice fell, Wong Tang's figure flashed, and he urged the Kunpeng treasure technique to fly out of the ancient heavenly palace quickly. As soon as he arrived outside the ruins of the heavenly palace, he saw Long Aotian, who arrived here under the escort of 2 quasi-emperor ancestors. Yo, 2 quasi-emperor protectors, how come it's been so long, and you still look so poor? Is there no other ancestors in your Zulong nest? Wong Tang grinned and mocked. Don't say it. There are indeed no other ancestors in their Zulong nest, basically all of them are dead. And they are also in Wong Tang's stomach. Upon hearing this, the 9th ancestor of Zulong nest standing next to Long Aotian could no longer hold back the anger in his heart. Seeing Wong Tang alone, he planned to eliminate him without martial ethics. However, the next moment, Wong Tang, who saw through everything, crushed the sound transmission jade talisman in front of everyone. In the blink of an eye, several terrifying figures, emitting strong power, walked out of the torn void channel around. It was the ancestors of the Wong family. What's wrong? Your people from the Dragon Nest haven't learned a lesson from the Myriad Races Conference, and you want to bully the weak again, right? The first ancestor stroked his long beard with one hand and said slowly. In the other hand, he was holding the shining Emperor killing spear. Between his words and actions, the 9th ancestor of the Dragon Nest opposite him suddenly felt fear in his heart. There were only 2 of them here, and they didn't bring the extreme Dao Emperor weapon. If they really fought, they would be 100% wiped out. Seeing this scene, Long Aotian was fearless and pointed at Wong Tang and said arrogantly, Wong Tang, do you dare to duel with me? Without relying on anyone, just the 2 of us, we will compete with our true abilities and decide life and death. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.